And good evening, my lovely Lost Tales, and welcome back to the Blue Rose Respite for my whimsical Wednesday stream. How's it going, my lovelies? Good to see you all again, as we will be returning to Vampire Therapist, and we will be getting to the end of the main game tonight. There is still plenty to uncover with this game, which is why I'm not calling it the last time we're streaming Vampire Therapist, because we have a whole ass DLC plus 3 free updates to go through. But we're going to see where we are by the time we get to the end of the main game tonight. I think that's what my main focus is going to be this evening. But how are you all doing, my lovelies? To everyone in the UK, how does it feel now that it's no longer 31 degrees outside? It finally rained today. It was nice and cool when I went for my walk to the gym this morning, and it was just a lovely breath of fresh air. Overall, it's just a little bit cooler. It's still quite hot and stuffy in my apartment, but that's just the benefits of being on the top floor of my apartment block. We have rain for the next 3 days as well. Yes! Yes! More good reading weather. But how are you all doing, my lovelies? I'm so glad that we got rain today. It's finally cooling down a little bit. Slowly, the days are getting just a little bit shorter, and soon enough, it'll be Halloween season. I'm so excited for Halloween season. But until then, I'm enjoying the summer as much as I can. I got rain yesterday. Hell yes, Sophiac. That's awesome. Good to hear. I'm doing good. Just got done with my animation class for the day, and luckily things are getting cooler where I am as well. That's good to hear as well, Weaver. Hell yes. I will say, because I've been doing a lot more reading recently, I want to talk about the book that I just finished today because it was genuinely so good. So, who here is familiar with an author called Grady Hendrix? Because I've read one of his books before, and I had my eyes set on this particular book because it just looked up my alley. It would look like it was the perfect book for me. But today I just finished We Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix. This is not a sponsorship or anything like that. I just really, really fucking loved this book. It is a fantastic book about heavy metal and rock and roll, mostly focusing on a former rocker from a band and wanting to essentially kind of confront the ghosts of her past kind of way. I won't go into details. I'll leave you to do your own research about it. But honestly, I just finished it, and it's a fantastic love letter to the heavy metal genre, to rock and roll culture, to heavy metal specifically, and also looks at like the parasitic nature of the modern music scene and like record labels and stuff like that. And it was just a really fucking good book. So I wanted to talk about it for a few minutes. And also just the cover is really cool. Like, hang on. So good. So good. And I love having it on my shelf now. But yes, I just finished that. So I really, really loved it. I wanted to recommend it to you guys. Because the first book I've read of Grady Hendrix's is My Best Friend's Exorcism, which is another fantastic book, especially because it's summer. At the moment, if you like Summerween and you like spooky summer sort of books and stories, I highly, highly recommend My Best Friend's Exorcism. Like, look at the cover art. Hang on. That is like peak 80s vibes. It's designed to look like a VHS and everything. It's genuinely such a good book. They made a movie adaptation of it, and I'll be honest, there's some things I like about the movie adaptation, but for the most part, it's not that great. So I recommend reading the book over watching the movie, personally. So yes, 2 books I recommend for spooky summer reading. I will say, though, Grady Hendrix is a fantastic horror writer, and he gets really into, like, the squelchy, uncomfortable details of describing gore, which is what I really, really like. I really want to get more into reading like splatterpunk reading and those kind of books, but I'm not sure what my appetite for those is. Like, Grady Hendrix is already like sitting with me comfortably and not making me too nauseous. And he's just really, really good at just imagery and building suspense and just really good. Just really fucking good, and good imagery as well. Hell yes. Oh, good luck, Scaracomia, with your job interview. I hope it goes well. I'm wonderful, Stephanie. I'm currently cooking a brisket on the smoker, and while I had it running, I decided to cook rib steak. I accidentally overcooked it, but in spite, it was still spoon tender. Best steak I've ever cooked. Hell yes, Lord Azul. I'm so jealous. That sounds really, really good. Oh my god, that sounds amazing. Unfortunately, I got rejected by an employment center, but also had a chance of meeting up with my grandfather's nephew, who directed me towards a new opportunity that sounds promising. Hell yes, Sean. I really, really hope that this new opportunity works out for you. You got this. Alrighty, so are you guys ready for more Vampire Therapist? Because essentially what we're having tonight is the final wrap up with our 4 clients. Then I think, not next week because I'm going to be out of town, but the week after, then we will return to Vampire Therapist to look at the free content updates with the extra sessions that we got, and as well as the DLC. We'll maybe start on the DLC, but we'll see how things go. As per usual, I want to know if you're feeling up for Pick My Voice for today. I will say I'm feeling a lot better. I'm feeling a lot more energized. So I will say I should be good for it tonight. So all that saving up for with your points is gonna pay off. Hell yes. Alrighty. So let us jump in to Vampire Therapist. Sometimes movies just don't always live up to that of the books they derive from. Honestly, Sean, I agree. I will say there's some adaptations into film and TV shows that are absolutely fantastic. Like, My Best Friend's Exorcism, it's such a great book, and there's so many wonderful parts of it. It felt like they cut way too much out of the movie adaptation. Tonally, it was kind of all over the place. They chose to do something weird with the ending. Like, some of it is really good, other parts of it, like when I decide, oh, I haven't rewatched this in a while, and I put it on, and then I'll get to the end of it, and I just like, yeah, that's why I haven't watched this movie in a while. Okay, cool. Cool. But the book is fantastic. Highly recommend the book. Speaking of books, I just ordered A Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That way I could read it and add to my collection alongside Moby Dick, Frankenstein, and George Orwell's 1984. Next on my list will be The Great Gatsby, but that's a story for another time. Hell yes. It's great to see that you're reading the classics. There's so many books, like classic pieces of literature that I really have to get around to reading. Like, I really want to read The Hunchback of Notre Dame and Les Miserables and The Count of Monte Cristo. I've actually got a copy of The Count of Monte Cristo, but it's such a big book. It's so long, but I really want to sit down and read it at some point. There we go. Okay, let us continue. Where were we? Here we are. I'm streaming, I'm recording, I'm doing all the things I should be doing. Hell yes. I'm doing well. Got to see my siblings who live in different states, so I don't get to spend time with them often, and decided to repurpose an old religious item. I have a prayer box necklace I used to wear all the time as a kid. I don't follow Catholicism anymore, but since the way I acquired it is an interesting story, I decided to cleanse it and use it for rituals and intention setting. That's really, really lovely, Story Keeper. Hell yes. I have some religious iconography around my sleeping space. Like, I have a little thing that, like, you would drill it into the wall of a church to put like holy oil water in for anointing yourself, and I have one of those in my room, as well as like some other bits of iconography and some rosary beads and stuff like that. And I'm no longer a practicing Catholic. I don't attend mass or anything like that, but it's interesting when you kind of like reclaim those things for yourself, and you still want to enjoy the imagery of something that was once a part of your life but is no longer a shaping of your life and beliefs, if that makes sense. Do you know what you want to dress as for Halloween yet? I don't know. I'm kind of thinking like maybe like an undead bride or something like that, like a vampiric bride but all in white, with like the really pale skin, but with like maybe like a harness and like a black underbust corset with like a long white dress or something. I don't know. I need to get tickets to the club event that I want to go to. That's going to be around that time of year. Speaking of, the club event that I went to last Friday was absolutely fantastic. I had an amazing time, and all I can think of when I was there was, God damn it, it's just this nightclub, but in real life and in London, not in Germany. Good evening, Samuel. I believe you're seeing Dr. Drain tonight. Or is it
Sure
Lunerwolf?
as heck hope I'm only seeing one client.
We are indeed doing voice redeems tonight. That is all good for me. My voice is fine. It's not too hot today, and I have a bit more energy, so I'm good.
I don't know how the doc's gonna take the news that I'm leaving, but I'm sure Lord Lourdes would love to see the back of me.
I'm sure he would.
I believe Lord Lourdes likes to see the back of everyone.
Yes, he does.
He's a real sumbitch, but you can't say he's picky. I should get my distortions picked. Now let's see.
Lord Lourdes. Control fallacy, always right. Disqualifying the positive. And catastrophizing, I think, was a big one as well. I really hope to go out to clubs in London soon. I've wanted to for a while, but I'm like shy. Honestly, Scarecrow, that is completely fair. I generally don't go out to most main club events. For lack of a better word, like normal clubs. I tend to only go towards ones that play like goth and heavy metal music, just because I like the vibes of those places a lot better. Or places where there is like the people who attend there are much more mindful of each other's space and a lot more respectful. So I'm sure you'll find something fun to attend soon.
All right, got my chambers loaded up.
Hell yes.
Is that really a phrase, or are you trying to get a reaction out of me?
Maybe both.
I'm joshing a bit.
To cover up your very real obsession with firearms. I know you by now, Samuel Walls.
It's because you have excellent taste. That is correct.
Guilty as charged.
I will leave you and your gun in peace. Good luck tonight, Samuel.
Why, thank you, Andromarchos.
Hello, Sam.
Oh, okay. It makes me so stupidly happy just to see our wonderful vampires, like our clients, being so genuinely happy now that we've gone through so much in therapy with them. Just, oh.
Evening to you, Dr. Drain. How you been this month?
Hang on.
Seems like you had a big breakthrough last time.
Just want to check that my microphone's about right. Yeah, that feels about correct. There we go.
Yes, I think I did. I have been feeling a lot better ever since.
Yay.
Well, you look great. Like a new man. Or perhaps the same man, but whole. Well, you look a lot more at peace than I've ever seen you. Well, why don't you fill me in on the last month?
How have things been?
I can scarcely believe how the last few weeks have gone.
Wish I had the will to go out to clubs, but because I have a severe irrational fear of alcohol and because I got hypersensitivity disorder. That is completely fair. I will say, Sean, those are absolutely valid reasons. Most club venues will offer plenty of soft drink options, and you can get free water and stuff like that if you don't want to drink alcohol or anything like that. And at least the club event that I go to, they have like free earplugs because it's a heavy music venue. They have like free earplugs at the counter that you can just come up and grab some foam earplugs if the music that they're playing, like the DJ's playing, is too loud for you, just to dampen it a little bit. But I completely feel that as someone who was a lot more heavily socially anxious and would get really uncertain about entering those kind of spaces until I kept coming back and familiarizing myself with the people who went there and stuff like that. It takes practice, a lot of practice, to get outside of your comfort zone and put yourself in a vulnerable position to like try something different with the understanding that you may not like it. And you may go home like frustrated, like, oh, why did I do that? But you got outside of your comfort zone and you tried something new, and I'm proud of you.
Didn't do a single hour of work. I let my scientists do it.
Oh.
I couldn't believe I backed off. They thought I was dead.
You are technically dead, but I'm proud of you.
You are dead. They don't know that, do they? Regardless, I thought I owed myself a little space. I actually stayed here in Germany the entire time.
Really?
Really? Here in Leipzig? I went to Berlin. I heard you could do whatever you like there, and no one cares.
You really can. I need to go to Berlin someday. Fuck.
I went clubbing. I bit mortal necks. I really had quite a nice time.
1, I'm proud of you, and 2, I'm jealous. There's some nightclubs in Berlin I really want to go to, and also There is such a huge goth scene in Berlin, in Germany in general, but there is such a huge goth scene in Berlin.
Yeah, I remember you were a good dancer.
Goth and heavy metal and all that. Just a lot of really cool people wearing lots of really cool outfits.
Oh, I sometimes danced for several nights in a row. They keep some of these places free from light, so I was free to party day and night.
They really do.
I did end up doing some pharmaceutical research, though
Oh?
the more recreational kind.
Good for you.
Well, sounds like you were living it up. You're keeping safe, I hope. Oh, Sam, I'm 430 years old. I don't have mortal fears.
Okay, we have our first Pick My Voice of the evening from Weaver of Passion. Since we're kind of doing interviews with vampires, I think this might be a good time for Steph to do her best Diane Morgan, aka Philomena Kunk impression, if that's okay with you, Steph. I will do my best. I'm familiar with the character, but purely from like social media. I haven't actually watched an episode of Kunk of Earth yet, so I might fumble quite a bit, but if that's okay with you, I can try my best.
Hey, did Lord Lourdes show up at any point?
Yes, how are you managing that pervert side of yours?
I dare say he was there the whole time, in some fashion. He's a much more agreeable chap when he's with me, though.
Surprising. I imagine then you keep a short leash on him in the best possible way.
Oh, and Sam, something else quite interesting happened.
Do continue.
Oh yeah, what's that? I engaged in coitus.
Okay, so this interview has taken an interesting direction, but good for you.
Oh goodness, no. I've got Lord Lourdes under control now. Not to say that it wasn't exciting, though. I was a little nervous at first. I haven't had sex since I died, after all. Not counting whatever Lourdes got up to.
In that case, I am deeply proud of you.
But riding another human being is like riding a bike, I suppose. It just comes back to you.
That's one way to certainly put it.
Well, dang, Doc. I'm just thrilled to hear you're letting yourself live a little. Yes, it's been a satisfying month. I'm headed back to Berlin tonight to meet my paramour again before I fly back to London.
It's concerning that he's within a reachable area, a proximity to myself. It's going to take a while for me to come to terms with that.
So is this some kind of serious thing? Not at all. Having a conversation with him makes me want to yank my hair out, so I just yank his curly locks instead.
That is good to know.
Who the hell are you and what have you done with Dr. Drain? It's funny, isn't it? I would have been disgusted with this person 6 months ago. Now I find I quite like him, and others seem to as well. Well, maybe this is a good time to give you some bad news then. I'm headed back to America, Doc. I reckon I can do more good there than I can here. Truly. But you're all so repressed there.
That is an indeed keen observation.
I guess you know, huh? Touché. Well, Sam, I'm sorry to hear that you're leaving, truly. Oh, I ain't gonna leave you high and dry. We can still do our sessions over the internet. It just won't be in person no more. Well, that's all right then. To be honest, I'm not sure I even know what I'd be looking for in therapy now. But then, I didn't know what I was looking for from therapy when I first flew in either. Well, I appreciate your keeping an open scientific mind, Doc. Is there anything you wanted to go over tonight?
We'll say an open scientific mind is probably the best mind to have. Keep them in jars, well preserved.
Honestly, no. I suppose I should snap back to reality at some point and tend to my research, but not now. Remember, them should statements are what got you to lock up Lord Lourdes in the first place. Think about what you could be doing, or what you want to be doing. It's that intrinsic motivation that'll take you where you want to go. Of course, I'm a vampire now. I'm the master of my own destiny. Attaboy. You got any strategies for what to do if you want to get into that plasma stuff again? If I desire to go down that road, I am surely denying myself my vampiric nature again. Perhaps it is best if we maintain our sessions.
Promising.
I think I know what I want right now, and that's a sport of blood and dance. What do you say, buckaroo? Oh, sure thing, old chap. Come on.
So proud of him. He's come so far.
Might be dear Samuel. It is a big night tonight, isn't it?
Oh yeah? Why's that?
You are breaking the news to Senora Deste that you are leaving, are you not? Against her nature, she has grown very fond of you, my friend.
Oh yeah. Who the heck knows why, right?
Are you fishing for compliments or merely disqualifying the positive once again?
I believe he's doing both.
Let's say fishing for compliments.
Very well. Samuel, your disarming charm and compassion undoubtedly make you an attractive vampire to our kind. Somehow, at a young age, you possess a natural wisdom that...
Okay, I was really disqualifying the positive again.
You are so easy to embarrass as well, which has its own charm. Very well, Samuel. I will leave you to your dark business.
I will say though, the impression like coming off of spur of the moment thoughts in as Philomena is a little bit on the tricky side, so I'm happy to just read those lines that are in chat at the moment in Philomena's my best Philomena Kunk voice, and then we'll call that the Pick My Voice, because I'm like really struggling to find good lines. It's hard to believe I'm walking through the ruins of the first city, because I'm not. That's in Iraq. The Egyptians believed the most significant thing you can do in your life was die. And with that, we'll come to the end of that Pick My Voice. I'm sorry it wasn't as great, Weaver. I need to watch Kunk of Earth and just get more familiar with the character. So in any other future character requests, like I might turn them down unless I'm well versed to that particular character.
Good luck with Senora Deste, my friend.
I will say though, we got through our session with Dr. Drain quite quickly, so we might jump into the extra nights like on top of the wrapping up of the main game as well. I think labeling, Nosferatu thinking, always right. Overgeneralization?
Alright, got what I need. Here comes the good lady herself.
She's so gorgeous.
Evening, Senora. It's good to see you.
I am pleased to see you as well. You have been on my mind of late.
Oh, really?
Why's that?
I think she likes you.
I wished to apologize for my behavior during our last session.
She's apologizing. That's new.
I let my monstrous side come out, and I addressed you in ways most unseemly. You have been kind to me and did not deserve this treatment.
Oh, think nothing of it, Senora. Therapy's kind of the place for them big emotions to come out, ain't it? I didn't take it personally.
Oh, but you should, Sam. I called you some terrible names. I disrespected you. You should be quite angry with me.
No, you're lovely, Signora.
All truth. I'm glad you let yourself get properly worked up.
Yes, that is exactly the problem. I allowed it. I allowed myself to insult a man who was being kind and patient with me. I lost control. I should not be so careless.
I don't expect you to always be in control, Senora. Like we've been saying since you walked in, you gotta have some compassion for yourself when you do lose that control.
Mm-hmm.
No one's saying you should always be in control. I think you're a superhuman, Senora, but you ain't superhuman.
You are, of course, correct. I fear I shall always have this tendency. But I am becoming more aware of it, thanks to your guidance.
Yay!
That's the absolute best we can expect of ourselves. We ain't never gonna be perfect. Being self-aware is the closest we're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't surprised at all you're making a ton of progress, Senora. You're a lady who likes to do things properly.
But let us say, not perfectly.
Exactly, you're getting it. I ain't worried about you, Senora. How have the last few weeks gone? Have you done any more art?
A little.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a little frustrating for me to paint when I am so unpracticed.
You'll get back into the flow of things.
I think I have always been better at recognizing and cultivating talent in others. The problem has always been that my artist cannot stand dealing with me.
That makes sense.
Poor Leonardo used to tremble whenever I said his name. I would like to try being a more patient benefactor.
You can do this.
I think that's a fantastic idea, Senora. Maybe the next great masters are out there waiting to be discovered.
Yes, that is my thinking. There will always be rise of the spacewalkers. But I can complain about the state of art today, or I can do something about it.
Great mentality to have. Like, honestly, as a creative, as a storyteller, as a creator of art in many different ways, there's a lot about the way the creative spaces are at the moment. Like, I'm not gonna go into a whole rant about AI. That's a whole thing that's just gonna piss me off. And so I'm limited in what I can do, but I try to just keep moving forward, keep making good art, keep telling stories to the best of my ability, and encourage change wherever I can. Try and change people's minds. It's like sign petitions, read blogs, share things that support independent artists, even being a literal patron of the arts. Like that painting I have on my wall, I bought from a wonderful artist. I just happened to stumble across her page on TikTok, and I bought a painting off of her, and that was literally supporting an artist. And I have another painting, I'm not sure if it's been shipped. I don't think it's been shipped yet, but it's probably on its way over to me, and that is significantly more expensive painting, but it is an actual physical painting, and I'm giving a actual physical artist my money and my patronage. I'm limited in what I can control in the world, but the little control I do have, I try and make the most of it. Stiff with an iconic mindset. I generally think it's a healthy mindset. Like, okay, sorry, 1 second, Senora. But last night I was literally lying in bed, and sometimes when I tend to spiral a little bit, I go into almost as though like I'm going to wake up tomorrow and a genie is going to appear in front of me and saying like, you can have as many wishes as you want, whatever you want. And I'm already like listing off all of the things that I want as though it is actually going to happen with the snap of the fingers. But I had to ground myself and go, no, that is not the reality you live in. And you need to let that go. Like, there's tons of different things that I would want to change in the world, but I'm limited in what I can and cannot do. And so I think having the grounding of like, okay, this is currently the shitty state of the world, but this is the little sphere in which I can control things and have my voice be heard and make some impact on the world. And I'm going to use it to the best of my abilities to do good things. Question, Steph. How reliable is the TikTok shop? I asked because I was disbanded most of my social media accounts, including TikTok, so I never understood how that service was. Honestly, Sean, I have personally never bought anything on the TikTok shop. I never plan on buying anything from via like the shop you can make available on your TikTok page. A lot of it is because a lot of the stuff that you can buy via the TikTok shop is like drop shipped, so it's very, very cheaply made and in bulk, and it's really shittily made, like bad like sheen quality clothing and stuff like that. A lot of really like really nasty pieces of shit will steal fan art from artists and then slap it onto a t-shirt and then put it on their TikTok shop front page, and it's such bullshit. So I actively do not support the TikTok shop. I would rather save my money, track down like small businesses and artists and brands that I'm much more aware of, that I've done my research into, and then buy from them directly, not via a third-party app, if that makes sense. Like, take the extra time. I know it's very easy to just have the convenience of just a few taps away of being able to buy something, but in general, do the extra step, do your research to make sure you're buying stuff from a reputable source, that it's good quality, with good reviews, and you're not getting scammed or anything like that. Water. Oh, so it's not so reliable. Good to know. Always thought it was a scam to begin with. Yeah, I will say there's some small businesses that do use TikTok Shop as like a secondary platform to support their stuff. But a lot of the time, those small businesses will also have like a secondary main website where you can buy their stuff directly from them. In general, I just don't like the TikTok Shop like integration and stuff like that. I know, it just feels icky to me. It doesn't sit right with me. But that's just my personal opinion on it. I would personally advise just do a little bit of extra research and buy directly from good, reputable companies.
See, now that's a great direction for your frustration. Don't let them folks be the only ones making art.
Damn right.
That is my thinking exactly. I'm starting a foundation for the arts, specifically for talented, living women.
Fuck yes, Isabella, I love you.
I aim to spend about €1 billion each year. I believe that should be enough to create art worthy of attention.
Like, I'm there for silly videos. What makes me think I want to spend good money there? Absolutely. I will say, though, I found a lot of really, really good small businesses via TikTok. Like, the lip stain that I'm wearing now is from Slushy Glow Cosmetics. And they were absolutely wonderful to buy from. Again, small business that blew up quite a bit on their personal page on TikTok. But I bought my lip tint and the other things that I bought from them via their website, not via, I don't think they probably do have a page like on the TikTok shop, but I went to their website in order to buy from them directly.
$1 billion a year? Where'd you get that kind of money?
Listen, she's been around since like, what, the 1500s or something like that. Her investment rate has got to be like serving her bank account so well.
My children's children intermingled with the Habsburgs and Medicis. My dynasty is full of blood-sucking investment bankers I can exploit.
Perfect.
Oh, you mean they're vampires?
No, they're just mortal leeches. But they will do what they are told.
What about them artists you're funding? Are they gonna do what they're told?
I shall not hobble them, as I hobbled the great masters. I will let them share their own dreams. But they must be dreams. I will not fund the rise of the spacewalker.
Fair.
Seems like you got a good game plan, Senora. This sounds like a real touchdown.
What on earth are you talking about?
Oh, never mind. Just saying, seems like you're on a good path, Senora. Maybe this is a good time to tell you I've got some news too.
Compound interest is the greatest force in the universe, not gravity or entropy. Okay, Lord Azul, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like, I won't go into the details because, like, I don't tend to go into the financial details, but while I was working in finance before I was made redundant, I worked my ass off to save as much money as I could for a really, 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 really long time in like savings accounts with good interest rates. And then while I was working, it was all gaining compound interest. So now, even though things have slowed down significantly over the past year or so, and I'm no longer getting income from like a full-time day job or anything like that, I still have just like enough of a nest egg to be able to pursue my creative passions and try new things and have like a little bit of extra like safety in my bank account. Honestly, financial literacy is one of the most important skills you can learn. What's her name? There's a great profile, not profile, I call her what she actually is. I would say she's a financial advisor, and she does promote certain apps and stuff like that, but there's this great woman, I can't remember her last name, but I think her first name is Tori. This is, again, not sponsored. I just followed her advice and it really helped me figure my finances out. I think her like Instagram and socials are called like her first 100K, and she gives great advice on finding high yield savings accounts and how to properly use a credit card to improve your credit, and be able to pay off debt and other things like that. And she does really good grounded advice, really practical advice that will help you manage your finances a lot better. So I took her advice. I did a lot of research into high yield savings accounts. I found some a good company, and now I'm able to just have fun, play video games, and pursue my creative passions. The fact that you endeavoured to save as much money as you can is an admirable trait to have, Steph. I too am endeavouring to do the same, especially since my chances of employment have been less than ideal as of late. Then again, every little bit counts. Absolutely, absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with like having like the occasional sweet treat or like going out with your friends to dinner or something like that. I think it's having the mindset of trying to save as much as you can by saving as much as you can, of thinking, or even like considering taking the time to really think about impulse purchases. Like, do I really need like another book? Do I really need like this particular high-end shampoo or skincare when I know there's like something similar that's a lot cheaper and works almost just as well? It's like those little decisions that just make all the difference, and every little bit counts.
I'm going back home soon. To America.
Oh no, how's she gonna take it?
Why would you ever want to go back there? Are you trying to get away from me?
No.
No, it ain't nothing like that. I've got my own reasons. Stuff at home that's waiting for me.
I know I can be a little intimidating sometimes.
It's not like that, Isabella.
It doesn't have anything to do with you, Senora. It doesn't mean we have to stop doing our sessions. We'll just have to use some of them internet video chat things.
But I do not know how to use such things.
Oh.
Can't you stay here?
No, Isabella, I'm sorry.
No can do, Senora. Besides, you gotta admit, I don't exactly fit in here in Europe.
Perhaps we need more men like you.
What did you say their name was? I want to open a Roth IRA for investing, but I can't have investments if I get on SSI. Can't even have more than $2,000, assuming I actually get accepted. Those are all very good questions. I don't know about what the particulars of those kind of financial ruling is like for the US. The advisor that I looked on her FAQ page on her website, I didn't buy any of her courses. I just went off the free advice that you can find on her website. Her handle on all of her socials is her first 100k. If you search like her first 100k Tory, her page should come up. I did a bit of research, followed a lot of her advice, and it really helped. This isn't like, I will also clarify, I'm not a financial expert. This is just from my personal experience. The job that I previously had paid quite well, and I was able to save up quite a bit. But again, I'm not a financial advisor, even though I was previously in finance. I was a financial crime analyst. I wasn't a financial advisor. So just a quick caveat to cover my ass. But I hope that you're able to get a little bit of advice from her. She's very, very good.
Well, trust me, Senora. I ain't that special. I got my problems just like anyone.
Yes, Tori Dunlap, that's her. Thank you. Also, Sofiak, thank you so much for the 6-month resub. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You're absolutely amazing support. Thank you.
The pops of my time would have hated you, dear Sam. They would feel naked before you. I suppose if you must go, then you must go.
Oh, absence will make the heart grow fonder, Isabella. Maybe one day we shall
At
return.
least teach me how to do a video call before you leave.
We can take a little time now if you're willing.
I would like that. Very much.
Oh,
Come on, Senora. I'll show you how it's done.
hell yes. Okay, yes, this feels like it's the quick epilogue for all of our sessions, and then we'll jump into the free games.
How are you feeling this evening?
God, he's so hot. Sorry. He's so
All right.
distracting.
A little nervous, I suppose.
About Edmund?
Yeah, he didn't seem to be doing too well last time. Feel for the guy.
You had empathy and compassion for him when not many would. If you continue this approach, I am certain that all will turn out for the best.
I ain't so sure, I gotta admit. Maybe Eddie would have been happier living the lie.
Give me 1 second. I forgot to adjust where my webcam was because I want you guys to see his beautiful, handsome face just as much as I can. There we go. Hi. God, he's hot. Okay, that's better.
In the short term, I believe you are correct. Inertia is always the easiest option. But inertia can also lead to a certain decay of spirit. Edmund, as you so astutely pointed out, has time to grow as a human. He will find his joys once more.
He will.
I sure hope you're right, Andy. I don't think I'm gonna see the same Edmund tonight, though.
No, I don't think so either.
It sounds as though you have difficult work ahead tonight. I wish you the best of luck, Samuel. Choose your distortions well.
Okay, labeling. Always right. Overgeneralization, catastrophizing. That feels right, I think. Blaming should statements. No, I think that's right, because he's very, very narcissistic.
Locked and loaded, boss.
Do you plan to engage in therapy with Edmund or fill him with holes?
Yes.
I was planning on therapy.
Blah, blah, blah. Proper name, place name, backstory stuff. Honestly, yes. Absolutely, yes. Also, at the club event that I went to on Friday, I actually, because it's the same club event that I have gone to previous times that I've talked about, and there's the guy there that is one of the, I don't think he's an organizer, but he is one of the, let's call them overseers of the event. And I've described him in the past. He's got really long silver hair and he dresses kind of like Abjurak from Baldur's Gate 3, the priest of Leviatar. I actually got to learn his name last time I was there. I didn't get to speak to him directly, but I got chatting with one of the other overseers of the event, and he was really cool. Really, really cool.
Then try not to refer to cognitive distortions as ballistic weaponry, my friend.
Sorry about that. Thanks, Andy.
I'm teasing you, Samuel. Do have a good session.
Thank you, baby.
Howdy, Eddie. It's good to see you.
How are you feeling, Edmund?
Is it? Can it be good to see me if you do not know who I am?
No, honey.
Eddie, whoever it is that's sitting in front of me, it's good to see him.
Well, I'm glad you think so.
You're not feeling too good, are you?
Not very. I've spent much of the last weeks in bed, in silence, pondering the only question that matters.
And what question is that, Eddie?
To be or not to be?
That is the question. 'Tis nobler of the mind to weigh the slings and arrows of outrageous
I've said
fortune.
the line so often, but I never understood them. They were just pretty sounds I used to make the people cheer. I said them with conviction, with emotion, or simulacra of such, and so full of sound and fury, yet in the end, signifying nothing.
No.
Now I know that the answer is not so simple. To be, indeed, or not to be.
Well, maybe you can walk me through it, Eddie. I never was much of a theater guy.
Of course. To be or not to be.
That is the question.
Whether it is
Nobler
nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of
outrageous
outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them. This part is simple enough. Do we accept our troubles as they are, or do we take the effort to address them? The bard continues with some more pretty speech, and then that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others we know not of.
God damn it, Shakespeare's so fucking good.
I have borne those ills. Ills of my own making. My undiscovered country is the true Edmund Keane. Who is he?
God, it's been so long since I watched Hamlet. I really, because he's done so many adaptations or performances of Hamlet, but I gotta see David Tennant as Hamlet. I have to see David Tennant as Hamlet at least once before I die. Because I've seen him in other Shakespeare productions. He's great as Benedict in Much Ado About Nothing. God, he's good as Benedict in Much Ado About Nothing. But I've seen adaptations with him as Macbeth, and he's very good as Macbeth. I need to see him as Hamlet, though.
To be or not to be, indeed. I have feared that undiscovered country with all my still heart, and now I have arrived there. Not to be. Where is the place upon this cursed orb that was made for Edmund Keane?
It's either overgeneralization or...
He has played a role all his life, but is Edmund Keane truly nothing without that role?
Overgeneralization?
That
No.
He has played...
Personalization.
That
There we
sounds
go.
really heavy, Eddie. But I want to help you with a little perspective. This idea that there's a place made for you ain't true. You gotta make that place. There ain't no cast list with roles to be filled. You gotta make your own role.
Perhaps I have taken all the world's a stage a bit far.
Well, maybe a little. You're a clever fella, Eddie. And you're still a human being. You're just dealing with a lot right now. Give yourself some compassion. It ain't easy starting over after 200-some years. I'm proud of you for soldiering on, hombre.
I do not understand why. What does the world need of me? All I have ever done is play the clown upon the stage. I am as unnecessary a man as ever there was one.
Labeling?
I am as unnecessary a man as there ever was one. Eddie, who says you need to be necessary? Being you is enough, hombre. That's what you're gonna be regardless. I know it's a big, scary step being you, but you took it. And for that, I'm dang proud of you.
My absolute favorite Hamlet is the Kenneth Branagh movie. I actually have not seen the Kenneth Branagh movie. I know Hamlet is one of, like, if not the big Shakespeare play, but for me, I'm much more familiar with adaptations of Macbeth, because I love horror. I'm quite gruesome. So, like, the goriness and gruesomeness of Macbeth appeals to me a little bit more, even though Hamlet is, like, all over the place. It's chaos in the best way. Although my favorite Shakespeare play is A Midsummer Night's Dream. Absolute favorite. I love the shenanigans of Oberon and Titania. Like, it's so good.
You are kind. And I suppose it is true that facing the slings and arrows of righteous fortune is a virtue in itself. But the future is now all undiscovered country, and it will be a hard land to navigate for a swaddling babe such as I. I can scarcely crawl, but at least I have you to help me.
About that, Eddie.
A quick heads up.
Oh dear.
I'm sorry.
I'm heading back to America, Eddie. I've got growing and changing to do myself, but we can still do our sessions over video call.
Oh my god, did you see Gwendolyn Christie as Titania? Yes. I didn't see it in person, but I have seen the filmed production of Gwendolyn Christie, Brienne of Tarth, gorgeous goddess that she is, as Titania. But what they actually did in that adaptation is, even though she was cast as Titania and an actor was cast as Oberon, they switched the dynamics. So Titania is the one that works with Puck to get the flower that makes Oberon fall in love with Bottom. And it's so good. It's so good. It's, oh my god, I just love Midsummer Night's Dream so much because it's one of the comedies, of course, so you can have so much fun with it, but it's so versatile in all the different ways you can choose to adapt it. Like, oh my god, it's so good.
No, you cannot leave, you must not. I will be all alone. The mortals wait for me to stumble, and when I do, they will fill my mouth with garlic and cut off my head.
It's okay, Edmund, you're gonna be okay.
Eddie, come on, you're doing a little catastrophizing there. We'll still be talking over video calls. You've been handling yourself fine in London without me.
Oh, but I haven't. I absolutely have not. I stayed in my coffin for the entire month. The director of the play who disarmed me so seeks my head for the loss of her Piero.
Oh no.
Oh, my dear man, you must not go. You cannot do this to me. You cannot turn me into a shell of a vampire and then abandon me.
It's not like that.
You think I'm doing this to you, Eddie? I've got my own concerns that don't have anything to do with you. I'm going back to the U.S. for myself. Now I know you're coming from a vulnerable place and all, but I'm making this change for me, and you've got to accept that.
Please, Eddie.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Just
There.
me, please. I could come with you.
No.
I'd go to America.
No, don't.
A fresh start.
Don't.
I know America. I performed in Canada and in New York City.
No.
Well, Eddie, I ain't much of a city slicker. I'm headed west.
I'm headed to cowboy territory.
I could move in with you. We could be roommates.
No. No, I say this as an actor. You don't want to be roommates with someone like Edmund. No. Oh my god. I'm surprised there isn't an answer of like, absolutely the fuck not.
Eddie, no, that ain't gonna happen. Look, I think there's something to what you're saying about that fresh start. But my role in your own life is as your therapist, and we gotta stick to them boundaries. Now, I'm happy to meet with you as your therapist, but you gotta be content with that, alright?
Yes. Of course. Yes, well then, that's settled. I'm going to America.
Fuck. Okay.
I'll go home and pack my things immediately.
Take your time, Eddie. I need a little more time to wrap up here. I'll let you know what my schedule looks like over Vmail. Now, you gonna be okay?
Yes. The idea of a new start is rather exciting. I have something to look forward to.
He's gonna get to America 10 minutes, like, he's gonna arrive in New York, because he's immediately gonna try and get a role on Broadway or something like that and rediscover himself. Maybe I'm being too harsh on him because he's come a long way in therapy, but I could just see him arriving in New York, like, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready for a new start, and then immediately calls Sam, like, I want to go back, America's awful.
Alright, Eddie, I'll talk to you soon then.
Hey, Squishy Satan69, how's it going? Welcome back.
Of course, yes. Oh, my country. My country. Sweet land of liberty.
Stop. Yeah.
Eddie, we're vampires. We don't have countries. Don't go trading one problematic identity for another.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, of course. Well, goodbye, Sam.
Adios, muchacho.
Ah.
A new companion, is it, Samuel?
No.
Oh, it ain't like that, Andy.
I know. I am very pleased with you. You maintained your boundaries well and gave Edmund a lifeline. Well, an unlifeline. You are the future of vampire therapy, my friend.
Huzzah.
Oh, shucks. I'll settle for the present.
He's going to end up in Staten Island. Okay, so I've been to New York once, and I would love to visit there again someday in a couple of years. I feel terrible asking this. What's worse, New Jersey or Staten Island? Because I haven't been to either. I've been to New York City, but I don't think I've ever been to Staten Island, which is like in New York City. But I also hear so many mixed things about Staten Island and Jersey. So, which is worse?
Then the present
And
is a
be
fortuitous
nice
one.
in the comments.
I believe you are owed a drink.
Okay, Lord Azul just answered yes. Or where is D? All of the above. Oh no.
Oh, yeah. After that, I sure as hell need one.
Fuck
Go
yes.
downstairs and enjoy yourself. You shall soon say goodbye to your last client. Enjoy Crimson's best while you can.
Yay.
Rest in peace, dear Samuel.
Okay. Oh, I'll get to see Crimson again. Oh.
Greetings to you, my dear Samuel. It is, as always, a pleasure to see your face.
Okay, so we only got to see Crimson that last time when she was turned to a vamp. Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Oh, thanks, Andy. You got a nice face, too.
Okay, so King Deadlock said both, and Lord Azul said visiting the Jersey Shore. That's fair. Staten Island at least has a nice atmosphere, but Jersey I've heard nothing but bad things about. Okay, good to know, Weaver.
Why, thank you. It has served me well. I suppose tonight's meeting is bittersweet. You are saying goodbye to your last client, yes?
Yes, and then we're going to look at the other fun things that we've got in this game.
Yeah, that's right. Meddy should be showing up anytime.
I would like to give you something then, before she arrives.
Oh?
Thanks, I guess.
Oh.
What is this? A piece of wood?
From a barrel. One that once contained a naked man whose wisdom I was not ready to appreciate.
Right. Wait, who?
His name was Diogenes. He would scream at people as they passed by, telling them to break out of the realities they were so comfortable in.
Andromarchos, did you have a hand in what happened with, like, Meddy, maybe? I don't know.
Questioned Athenian society, how sacred, and emphasized the return to the beauty of nature.
Okay, now I feel like an idiot because I thought those were, because Meddy is Irish, but a part of me is just like, is this Nordic? Like, no, it's Greek. Okay. Because of the mention of Athenian, like, oh, of course it's Greek. That makes
I
sense.
saw somehow through the constructed reality we have all created and understood the miracle of the individual. You, my friend, through your rebirth in death, your travels in the wilds, remind me so much of the man. Thus, I give this part of the barrel he lived in to you.
That's so lovely. Thank you.
Wow. Dang, well, thank you, Andy. What's it say, though? Some great insight about what it means to be human?
It says Diogenes was here.
Well, all the same, I love it. Thank you, Andy.
It could have no greater honor. Now then, I will leave you to tend to your client.
Okay. Labeling, because she has all those pet names. Catastrophizing. Should. And Nosferatu thinking, I think.
Got my ammo at the ready.
We really need to talk about this gun stuff sometime. Whatever this thing is, it is very old.
He's also a cowboy. Cut him some slack.
Yeah, I know. We'll get to it, I'm sure.
Do not worry about it for now. Please take a moment. She comes.
Hello, little mouse.
Oh, I love the look.
Oh, hello, Mitty. Interesting clothing you're wearing tonight. Have you been?
Hell yes.
How have I been? Or rather, who have I been?
Sure, how about who have you been?
If she's got into like tabletop gaming and like online role playing and into D&D in particular, I'm gonna be so happy.
I've been a halfling druid.
Fuck yes! I'm so happy for you, Maddie!
You've lost me.
That's alright, sweet cowboy manling. I've had ever so much fun as a halfling druid.
Doing our own fun creative stuff, hell
My
yes.
name is Bulgo Fraggykins, halfling of Tuckland. When I was a child, I saved a tree from being burned by a group of nasty orcs. The trees gave me magical druidic powers, which I now use to cleanse the land of evildoers.
Oh.
Hold on, is this a thing that actually happened? I know you're real old and things were different back in your time.
What are you talking about, my sweet?
Oh, names changed and
Right
everything.
now, me and my companions, we're a fellowship on a noble quest.
What is this noble quest?
What's this noble quest you're talking about?
Well, in the city of Balin's castle, there's a philanthropist mage named Durgan the Munificent, who keeps the people happy and content. But my fellowship and I have discovered that he's actually a warlock serving An Calgon the Clean, an ancient dragon who seeks to purify the land of all mortals.
Sounds amazing.
Durgan is cutting down trees throughout the realm, which upsets me very much as a druid. We're going to defeat him, face An Calgon, and save the land from certain doom.
Okay.
Your name is
You
Bulgo?
said your name is Bulgo now, not Mitty?
That's right. My name is Bulgo Fraggykins of House Fraggykins. My family produces the finest pipeweed, Fraggykin Kush, but they're always burning leaves to get high. They don't approve of my becoming a druid, so I have to leave home and live in the woods. Well, that is, until the trees started to disappear.
Desiree, how's it going? Welcome back.
So, I gotta call you Bulgo from now on?
That is my name.
Cool.
Well, alright then, Bulgo.
What does a druid do?
You never told me you were a druid. I know them types were all over Ireland back in your time, right?
A druid is a servant of nature. We protect all things that grow from the forces of evil who aim to corrupt them. In return, nature gives us certain magical powers. I, for instance, can turn into a squirrel and a wolf.
Well, dang. Seems like there's a lot about the world I don't know. But then I'm only 200-some years old.
Went to a con for the first time in a long time Saturday, and I loved it. Can't wait to go again next year. That's awesome, Desiree. Glad to hear you had a great time.
And you're very silly.
Oh.
That too.
And what the heck are you talking about?
Okay, I gotta admit, I have no freaking clue what the hell you're talking about, Mitty, or Bulgo. Are you doing alright?
I'm LARPing, silly.
Oh.
I don't know what that is.
Live action role playing. My friends and I get dressed up and we pretend to go on grand adventures.
And he's got some friends.
Your friends? Who are your friends, Bulgo?
I did what you suggested. I emailed all my friends from the web ring and they were very happy to hear from me. Some of them live in Ireland, so we decided to get together and play games. It's been ever so much fun.
Oh, I'm so happy for her.
They're all mortals, but they love that I'm a real vampire. They share their blood with me as part of our role playing.
Hot.
It's how I summon up enough magic to turn into a squirrel.
That's incredible. I'm so happy to hear that, Bulgo. You got blood, you got friends, and what about the algorithm?
My friends and I performed a mystic nature ritual to clear my mind.
Please tell me you burnt your phone.
Nature provides what I need, not hyper-intelligent monsters.
Fuck yes.
The algorithm only wants boring things anyway.
Fuck yes.
I close my glitch and only sell its accounts.
Ooh.
I like my IRL friends better.
Okay, that's really, really good. I'm really proud of
How do you
you.
feel?
I feel happy. You were quite right. There are kind mortals. My friends have lots of mortal problems, but I have lots of money, so they don't need to worry about mortal things.
Oh.
Well, that sounds like a pretty decent exchange, Bulgo. Sounds like you're in a pretty good place, huh?
Well, almost. I have one problem that plagues me.
What is it?
Orcs. I hate them.
Orcs.
Orcs. They're all awful. They cut down trees for fun, they're always saying dirty words, and they like to kick halflings.
Overgeneralization?
Now, come on. I haven't met any orcs, but I know you haven't met all of them. You don't know their stories. Maybe they're that way because they were raised in troubled households and they don't know any better. Maybe some of them act that way because that's what you expect. Show a little compassion, same as you'd show for yourself, and maybe them orcs will surprise you.
But the rule book says all orcs are evil.
Yeah, Sam, we kind of need to sit down and have a quick talk about the game.
Since when do you follow a rule book, Bulgo?
Perhaps you're right, little mouse. I have been a bit harsh on the orcs. I shall be kinder from now on.
You do that. I gotta share some news with you, though. I'm heading back to America. I've got my own orcs to deal with. Of course, we can keep doing our sessions over video chat. The time zones are a little rough, but I can talk just before dawn.
We'll make it work.
Oh, that's alright, little mouse. I would rather not do a lot of computer things.
Oh.
And I'm feeling much better now.
Are you sure? I'm happy to talk, and I don't want you to think you're all alone.
Little whisker face, don't worry about me. I have what I need now.
Desiree55, thank you so much for the 4-month primary sub. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support. You're amazing. Thank you.
Well, if you're sure, if you ever need me, just send me a V-mail, okay? That ain't no social network, more of a digital Pony Express.
Perhaps I can tell you about my adventures.
Hell
And
yes.
how I will exact my bloody revenge on Durgan the Betrayer.
I'd love to hear all about your adventures, Bulgo. I guess this is goodbye then, huh?
Nay, 'tis not a goodbye, but a farewell, sir. And may the light of Malone shine upon your path. Walk with nature.
Oh.
Well, I hesitate to say any client is ever cured of cognitive distortions, but perhaps Bulgo is.
Possibly.
Yeah, I wonder. She's been pretty free of all this human society stuff for a while. Maybe she knows better than any of us.
Perhaps. The Dark Angel Raziel ensnared even her, however, so we should be aware of his influence. Well, that was your last client. I suppose you are now free to leave whenever you like.
No, I want to stay here forever. Don't kick me out, Vampire Daddy.
Oh, I ain't no rush, Andy. I'm still dealing with the cruise line to get some space for my coffin. I'll be here a little while yet.
Then I shall endeavor to enjoy your company a while longer. Come, Samuel. The nights grow long. Let us enjoy ourselves.
Thanks for the hydrate check. Thank you. Yes, Crimson.
You seen Andy?
Hey.
I wanted to have a chat with him before we leave.
God, she's hot.
He slept in tonight. We had a long night yesterday. Had to say our goodbyes too.
Oh, that's fair. He needs time to recover from
Guy
that.
acts like everything happens for a reason, and he's got to accept it. He was a little quiet. Why don't you check his office?
I'll do that.
Thanks for the stretch check.
Person.
Ah.
Andy, you around? Crimson said you were acting a little strange.
Oh, it's quiet. Why is it quiet?
Andy? Dang it, where the heck is that guy?
Andy? Where are you?
Oh, he left the window open. It's freezing in here. I'll go close it.
What's up?
Ain't like Andy to be like this. Where the hell's he hiding when it's almost morning anyway? Wait a minute. Oh shit, there he is. I don't got time to pick my distortions. I'll just have to use the ones I know best. Andy, what the hell are you doing out here? The sun's coming up.
Oh, no. No.
I did not intend for you to find me, Samuel. I had said my goodbyes already.
Andy, don't you fucking dare do what I think you're gonna do.
What are you talking about, Andy? There's no need to be thinking like this. Come on inside and we can talk.
Do not fear for me, dear Samuel. I do not leave out of despair. There is no distortion. This is simply a choice that I have decided to make.
Oh, I'm so torn. Because we're not in therapy. We're not in a therapy session, but I feel like I need to use my abilities to intervene to stop this.
How can you say that?
Samuel, I have walked this earth for more than 3,000 years.
No, Andy, don't you do this to me.
I have watched civilizations rise and fall. I have witnessed horrors and wonders you could not comprehend. I have been
Don't you
hated,
do this.
and I have been loved. And I have hated and loved. I am a creature of myth, Samuel. A fragment of another age. My time passed long ago.
Andy, these things are only true from your own perspective. You're doing some labeling and you know it. I know you ain't a mythological being. That's a cognitive distortion.
Okay, I'm going to be extra particular about this. I do not want to fuck up a single thing, so I'm saving before I make any decision because I don't want to lose Andy.
My friend, it is not. This is a world of computers, of technology. But I was here before the name Jesus Christ ever existed. I was here before civilization. It is not labeling to say that I am from another time, and indeed older than most myths. This distortion does not apply to me.
No.
Well, who cares about that, Andy? I think it's great that you got all this experience. You got perspectives most of us couldn't dream of having.
But Samuel, my perspectives are alien. The humanity I was born into is not the humanity of the modern world. My value is like that of a history book, and the perspectives I have, while well-earned, are of their time. Do not look to me for answers.
Oh, I'm gonna save 1 second. Okay, fuck. Disqualifying the positive?
Andy, now you're disqualifying the positive.
God.
You compare yourself to a history book, but history books don't talk. They don't reason.
Of course, my friend. But I do not disqualify the positive, not in the slightest. I merely ask you, and indeed humanity, to look to itself for answers.
God.
This is not a cognitive distortion, my dear Samuel.
No, I don't like that we're running out of these.
That is why I must leave this earth to you.
Don't!
And those you will help cultivate and grow. I have had my place in this world for a very long time. I have done much good, and I have committed great evils. These things I accept.
Don't. I'm not
But
gonna.
it is
I'm
time
not
for me
gonna
to
accept
stop having
this.
an influence on this world. When you told me that Heinrich Kramer still lived, it proved to me that I have had too much influence. The small choices I make change the fate of the world.
1 second.
Andy, that ain't something you can know. Heinrich Kramer is his own man. He's made his own awful decisions.
Fuck.
It's a control fallacy to think you caused what he's done.
It is not a control fallacy, my dear Samuel. My point was that my decision to support Heinrich Kramer had a lingering effect on this world. Like the wings of a butterfly, my actions have consequences for good and ill that cannot be predicted. But even butterflies die to support the natural order.
Don't say the word die. It makes me
This
nervous.
is not a control fallacy.
Alright.
Samuel, do not mourn me. All things must pass. It is the way of nature, a way that you know well. It is this way that brought you to my door. We have talked much in our time about the value of change and growth. Death is change, my friend. Nothing good can come from my having an eternal existence.
I'm sorry. I know I'm making all the right decisions, but I don't want to lose him. Come on.
Now that's Nosferatu thinking if I ever heard it. Nothing good can come from your having an eternal existence.
We need you.
You're doing plenty of good all the time. Think of the people you've helped. Think about Crimson. Think about me.
I did not say that I could do no good, my dear Samuel. I have been honored to be a companion to you, to Crimson, and to so many others. It is the eternal that is incompatible with nature. My thoughts are clear. This is not Nosferatu thinking. I know you look for the best in everyone you meet, Samuel. You see potential where others do not. That is why you seek to rescue me. But I do not need to be rescued.
This hurts so much.
And that is why I am honored to leave the future in your hands.
Don't.
I confess, I did not have hope for Edmund Keen. Rarely can such men be aided, but you persevered.
Are we sure we're making the right decisions, or is the game giving us false response? No, that little splurt of blood is an indicator that you picked the correct one, so we've been correct every single time, but I think this is just how the story goes. Fuck.
I would not hope to help Heinrich Kramer either, but you dare to hope. I should leave and allow this hope to flourish.
There's only one more option left.
Andy, pardon my saying so, but that's a load of horse shit. Where's that should statement coming from, huh? Just because you don't see the same potential I do doesn't mean you should leave. That's Distortion City Population Andy.
No.
There are certain shoulds, however, Samuel, that are inevitable for the world to keep turning. The sun should shine, whether we like it or not. We should drink blood, whether we like it or not. And all things should die, whether we like it or not. It is not a cognitive distortion to think so. Please, Samuel, do not make this difficult for me when it need not be.
Please don't.
Go. Face your blood, father. I believe you will succeed in turning Heinrich, and that will bring me peace in death.
Don't.
Andy, I don't want you to go.
I know, my dear Samuel, but I must move on, just as you must. I have had my time here. Too much time. Too much blood has been spilled on my account. I have done much to atone for this, but for good or ill, my time must be over. I have a confession, Samuel. Perhaps it would make my decision clearer to you.
Fine.
I am Heinrich's blood father.
Oh shit. Okay, that makes this a lot more complicated, and it hurts so much, but I can see why he's now here. Fuck.
What?
I made him into a vampire. I gave him eternal life. In my hatred for humanity, I empowered him in his dark work.
Shit.
It is my choice that brought the Malleus Maleficarum into existence. My choice that fueled the deaths of so many.
Okay, this is now making a lot more sense. God damn, okay.
The painting of my wings 600 years ago killed your brother,
Oh.
destroyed your family, even caused the death of your princess. I am so sorry, Samuel, but I hope you can understand why I must go. The world does not need my continued influence. There is no cognitive distortion that clouds my thoughts. Only the clarity of seeing the long arc of history formed by my hand.
Fuck.
I don't know what to say, Andy.
Then say nothing, Samuel. Go back downstairs. Live your own life. I have accepted my influence on this world, but that influence is over now.
Also, the sun is steadily rising. I hate this.
Crimson is now a vampire. She needs me no longer. You are a greater therapist than I. I am at peace. If I may offer a last word of advice, my friend, remember your strength. Approach every client with the same mentality you always have, and it will serve you well.
Wait a minute. Approach every client the same way. I know what Andy means.
Now, I wish to see the sunrise one last time. There is nothing more you can do for me, Samuel.
I'm gonna save. I know there's only one option, but I want to save to preserve this moment.
That's where you're wrong, Andy. I do have something to offer you, and that's compassion. I know you've done some awful things, and that must weigh mighty hard on you.
Please.
I can imagine the pain you feel at seeing someone like Heinrich Kramer running around reminding you of the vampire you used to be.
I appreciate your empathy more than I can say, Samuel. You are right. It is painful. But my decision is about more than pain. I know my presence is unnatural. My world has died so many times over.
I know it has, Andy. I watched my friends and family die out a few times. You've done it 100 times at least. If you didn't feel that, there'd definitely be something wrong with you. I'd say that pain is more natural than anything. But you don't have to feel that pain alone, Andy. You've made this world a better place so you don't have to.
You are kind, dear Samuel. Too kind to an old relic like myself.
Don't say that shit.
But I do not wish to see the history I have created. It is darkness that builds upon itself, regardless of what I do.
Andy, I forgive you. A lot of them decisions you made were terrible ones. Now that Andy was a hateful asshole, but I feel sorry for him. Nobody who feels content and peaceful does things like that. I'm sure he hated himself as much as you hate him now. I know what it's like to look in the mirror and see a murdering sack of shit. But you're a person, Andy. You got needs, joys, regrets, and sorrows. You're deserving of love. And I love you, man.
Please.
Damn it, Samuel. Don't you know crying is dangerous to a vampire? It is fluid we cannot stand to lose.
Fuck.
Well, let's go get you something to drink then. Come on, Andy. Let's get back to the darkness.
Please.
Thank you, Samuel. Thank you.
Please. Did we do it?
Whew, what a night.
Oh my god.
I think he'll be okay, though.
I did get an achievement. Save an ancient vampire. I saw that achievement in my list of ones you could accomplish in this game, but I thought that was attributing to Medi because she's also ancient, but god damn! I haven't been that stressed out in a game in a really long time.
Being human means we're gonna keep making mistakes, but we'll have to accept them and forgive ourselves.
I need to lie down.
I'll keep an eye on Andy before we leave, but he seems pretty eager to help me with Heinrich now. That ought to keep him going.
I really hope it does.
He gave me this here coffin as a gift, and I'll definitely think of him whenever I'm resting in it.
Also, we have the wonderful picture from Isabella. We saved it. Hell yes.
Now then, I think I'll do a little reading from my favorite book. Something to inspire me for the challenges ahead.
Hell yes.
I learned this, at least by my experiment, that if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with success unexpected in common hours.
Also, I love chat's just response of like, I feel like I need to lay down. I'm already lying down. Oh my god, Steph, you did it. You did it. You won therapy. I did it, guys. I wanted therapy.
In proportion as he simplifies his life, the laws of the universe will appear less complex, and solitude will not be solitude, nor poverty poverty, nor weakness weakness. Yeah, you got it, Henry. I'll just keep walking and everything will turn out okay. Now, time to watch Mo yank Larry's hair out. Oh, there ain't nothing funnier than some good old slapstick violence.
Hell yes. Oh my god. Public domain. Is this how a therapist feels? Sheesh, buy them all a gift basket or something. I already pay my therapist quite a bit for my sessions, but it still doesn't feel like enough for what she does for me. I don't want to get in trouble for having, like, other footage on my channel, so we'll get the idea and then continue onwards, shall we? Pulling someone back from that ledge is such a scary place to be in. Absolutely. I've had to have really heart-to-heart chats with some friends at points of crisis before, and it's absolutely draining, so I've had to establish some healthy boundaries between myself and some really close friends. But yeah, let's stop this now and continue.
I think I'm nice and relaxed now. Time for some good rest. The real journeys are still to come.
Funny thing, I'm watching this right after therapy. Desiree, I sincerely hope that your session went really well, so that it was good and productive, and you got to work through a lot of really good things. And thank you so much for joining us tonight after therapy. I imagine it's maybe it's quite a lot to go from therapy to watching me play Vampire Therapist, so take care of yourself. Do you. Just go at your own pace tonight. Proud of you for doing therapy. Oh my god. And is that it? Oh?
Tonight's the night. Time to hit the dusty trail back home.
One last bit with Andy. Hi. I'm so glad you're okay.
You ain't gonna take any sunrise strolls, right, Chief?
Please don't.
I am fine now. It was a momentary lapse of self-awareness.
Okay.
I have much to regret, but much to live for as well. I believe that you can turn Heinrich Kramer, Samuel, and I wish to help you as much as I can.
I'm so happy they handled that so well as well. I hate when media does the talking jumper down moment and they shorthand it, like knocking them out or telling them to get over themselves. honestly, it's one of those... It's a very, very emotionally driven kind of moment in someone's life where you find or you come across someone at that point of crisis. Because this game actively worked with therapists to get not just the terminology correct, but also to portray various mental illnesses and cognitive distortions in an accurate way, that felt like it was genuinely one of the most grounded talking down sequences I've ever seen in any media ever. Because I've seen similar scenes be done in comic books with, I think Batman, Superman, and Deadpool have all had moments in comics where they've talked someone out of ending their own lives, typically off like the edge of a building, and help them come down to ease them down from that emotional high. And as far as like from what I remember reading of those, they were all done in different ways, but all of them felt really nice and grounded. That in particular felt the most grounded though I've ever seen it done.
You better, Sugar Blood. You know I can stay if you need me.
No. I cannot hold you or Samuel back. We all must continue on our paths. On my honor, I will continue as well, as I have for the last 3,000 years. You are already packed, and I would not see you delay.
Don't worry, I'm also playing a game while watching, making blueberry jelly in game. Awesome, that sounds good. I've never actually had blueberry jelly before. My favorite type of jam is typically strawberry or like a nice tangy orange marmalade.
I guess this is
Paddington style.
Last time I'll see this bar for a while.
No. Crimson, I'm so excited for you to come along with
Your
us.
North shall not be the same without you, but it will be something new.
Because when you two leave, that's when I move in.
Oh, if you're looking for a new snack, there's this fellow who's been roaming around. Name it Kieran.
Calling him a snack is very accurate.
We have met. I should very much like to know him better. But do not worry for me, Samuel. A vampire is always comfortable with a little quiet. Regardless, I have my cats to snuggle.
And he has cats! Sorry, he also has cats. I kind of lost it for a hot second because there's something about really tall, really physically strong guys who are also cat lovers that are just be still my beating heart. Hang on.
Now then, let us go outside. I shall see you off.
Well, here we are. Guess this is it.
Samuel, my dear, this is not an ending, but a beginning. Do not think that I have nothing left to teach you. We will speak over the internet. I do not release you from therapy.
Reckon I got plenty of work to do still anyway.
We all do. Now, Crimson, come. Embrace me.
Hot. I'm not gonna linger on it because otherwise my face is gonna go so red I will explode. We're just gonna leave it at that.
I'm gonna miss you, Sugar Blood.
Fuck, they're hot together. God damn it.
See each other again before long. And when we do, I will give your body pleasures that you cannot conceive of. First, I will lick you.
Dude, I'm right here.
There's the American I know so well.
I am so, it's so not okay. It's really hot in my apartment all of a sudden. God damn.
Very well. I bid you both an exciting journey.
Now,
Get out of here. Tears are unpleasant to our kind.
now I can officially say, like, that was full bisexual panic. Because I'm now officially out as bisexual. That was, like, full-blown bisexual panic in action. Oh, Bert. We're gonna miss you, Bert.
Oh, hey, Bert. You wanted to say something.
I think he wants to see us off.
Oh. Hey, thank you, Bert.
Go on, my friend. Speak your mind. Have fun, mate.
Oh.
Oh, Stewart. You always know what to say.
This game is so fucking cute. I love this game. Is that it for the main game?
In
Oh,
the past months, I've learned more about myself than I did in the last 2 centuries.
thanks for the hydrate check.
I got reasons to hope that I can put my skills to use back home, and that I can help anyone who's ready to be helped. For the first time in my life, I got real friends who can't die, and together, we can be better vampires than we ever were alone. I was lost once. I didn't know what I was put on this earth to do. I didn't know why I died. I didn't know who I was. I may be a vampire, but I can reflect now. Now I know who I am.
Oh. I've gotten the achievement, Into the Moonrise, complete the game. Oh. This game was so fucking good. Honestly, because I love me a good vampire visual novel, and this, because of like the multiple dialogue options or choosing different directions, it felt a bit like a visual novel, especially with like the more romantic aspects. But other than having like a visual novel is like the closest thing I can equate to what this gameplay style is like. But other than that, this was all completely unique. This was wonderful. And like the cast was so good. Everyone's voice performance was fantastic. It was so moving and down to earth. So good. Just so good. Very 21st century Dracula. Also, hi, how's it going, Berserk Boy? Welcome back. We're still gonna go for a bit longer because I want to check out the other extra nights that we have. This was one of the better written games I've seen. That was way up there. It was damn good. Hell yes. Oh. And the fact that this game has been like so celebrated and has got so much love put into it makes me really happy. Salmon Crimson will return in Vampire Therapist 2, hopefully. Please. Also, if any of the developers are at all watching this, I am also a voice actor. Please ask me to be a part of this, because if they're going to make a sequel, I would love to play a character in it. Please and thank you. I don't think it's confirmed for a sequel yet, because this game only came out last year, so it's going to take a while for a new game to come around. But this was really good, you guys. But we still have these 3 nights to look at. I'm going to save couples therapy for a whole separate stream. So we'll save that not for next week, but the week after. But let's have a look at these and see how long they are. Okay. The Blood of Troy.
Samuel, my dear, thank you for making the time to speak with me.
So from what because I didn't look up for like spoiler wise, but these are more just like extra little standalone sessions with, I think it's mostly just with Andromarchos, Andromarchos, that take place between your more structured sessions with your clients that you see over the course of the game. You would do so great in a sequel. Why, thank you, Storykeeper.
Come on, Andy. I've got all eternity. I've always got time for you.
An elder vampire such as I should not need your time. But I have been rather foolish of late, and disappointingly powerless against my own cognitive distortions.
And we have our next Pick My Voice of the evening from Sapphic Scaracomi requesting the deliciously dark Night Angel. No surprises there. Hello, my little stars. I hope you've all been shining bright as of late.
Whoa, Chief, slow down. I can't catch up with all the cognitive distortions you're shooting right now.
That feels especially pointed, considered I have just arrived.
I know. I have been neglectful of my own mental health, and that is why I wish to speak to you tonight. Before you came to learn from me, I was the only vampire therapist. But now that you have been trained, I wish to ask for your help.
Asking for help. I'm getting better at asking for help. Whisper has been very helpful with a lot of labor and other more tedious tasks.
Me? Andy, you said it yourself. I'm a baby vampire. How am I supposed to be your therapist? Also, ain't it kind of weird to have your own client as a therapist?
To be a therapist is not a position of power over another, my friend. Naturally, I think a different therapist would be preferable, but you are here, and I understand your style. I believe you will be an excellent guide for my thoughts.
Well, if you think it'd be all right, well, of course I'm here to talk. I've been worried about you.
I am sorry for that. It has just been emotionally difficult to see how my past, much like myself, refuses to be buried.
I just put all of my dark thoughts in a box, and then I put that box in the shelf of my mind, and then I burned that shelf to the ground, and then nothing bad happens. Nothing bad happens. I just refuse to acknowledge or process the dark thoughts as they enter my mind.
But perhaps my efforts to bury my past have been the problem. I wish to unburden myself to you, Samuel. I promise it will not take 3,000 years. I suppose you should pick what cognitive distortions I am likely to exhibit. I think we both know what my chief distortion is. As reformed vampires, we have similar mindsets.
I have eyes. I can appreciate that.
It's being handsome devils. The night can't handle the two of us.
The night can barely handle me.
That is no distortion, my friend. We are indeed a force of sexual allure to be reckoned with.
Out of character. He said it, not me. Back in character.
This is the cognitive distortion we share.
It's disqualifying the positive. I guess it comes with the territory of being former bad guys.
I hope Whisper wears a disguise or something when she goes to get groceries. I know she can be invisible, but the clerk would still be able to recognize her if she went to the same store each time. Whisper knows a thing or two about slipping under the radar, that's all I'll say.
It shall ever be our crucifix to bear. What other distortions do you think I need help with?
Hey, Night Angel, is Whisper's name really Susan, or is that an alias name of hers? Perhaps Whisper is indeed her real name. I will not confirm nor deny the real name of dear Whisper. She has her secrets, as I have mine. And we respect a mutual understanding regarding this. What feels correct for you? Nosferatu thinking I think sounds fine. Control fallacy. Just trying to remember what happened only a few minutes ago. I think this feels right.
Okay, Andy, I think I'm ready to talk.
How is Little Star Night Angel? Any progress between the two of you? They've been sulking and quiet in the basement again. I haven't quite mustered the strength to talk to them after our little confrontation.
Do you mind if we play a game while we speak? Much of what I will recall will be difficult to talk about.
Well, sure thing, Andy. What'd you have in mind?
Let us play a little Settlers of Wallachia.
I quite like the idea of that. Also, the board is adorable.
Sure thing, Chief. Kinda funny how everything we do has to be vampire-themed, but I'm game.
We cannot escape our natures, as Dr. Drain might say. What would you like your first move to be?
Some established defenses are
I
good.
think I'd like to build up my defenses. The best offense is a good defense, as they say.
I am not sure they say that, but very well, my friend. Now then, let me tell you the story of my early days as a vampire. Here, perhaps this will tell you something of my origins. Please be careful with it. It's nearly as old as I am.
Very impressive. And that already comes to the end of that Pick My Voice. Thank you so much, Scaracomi, for requesting the Deliciously Dark Night Angel. I had a feeling you already had her in mind when I said, yeah, we'll do Pick My Voices this evening. So thank you so much for requesting Night Angel once again. Also, I'm just going to love all of the art and getting to hear Andromarchos' backstory. Fuck yes.
Dang, this thing belongs in a museum.
One could argue the same about us, my friend.
True.
But this vase has emotional value to me. This poor vampire with a spear in his chest, his name was Mikael. He was my bloodfather, and the love of my short life. He was 6,000 years old.
Holy shit.
He knew secrets from another age. He taught me how civilization had restrained the human animal. We did not even need to speak. He could communicate poetry with a single glance.
Hard.
This
Sorry.
is the night he was killed by the Trojans. They attacked us in our sleep. I woke up to their laughter and his sweet blood splashing across my face.
No.
Shit. Dang, Andy. I can't imagine how traumatized you must have been. Your heart must have been broken to pieces.
No, I did not allow myself to mourn. If I shed a single tear, it would have been my end. The pain I felt was so heartrending. I knew it would be my permanent death.
Chief, that sounds a little extreme. Emotional pain is real pain, but it doesn't kill on its own. I got no doubt that dealing with your partner's death would have hurt for a real long time.
We all know when I have the points for Pick My Voice bound to show up in the chat as Night Angel. Hopefully it's not too annoying. No, absolutely. It's totally fine. Like, you don't, when I'm not in the mood to do a Pick My Voice, like, you don't pressure me or anything like that. You don't, like, nudge me or anything like that. It's all good, Scaracobi. It's all good. Don't you worry. Because I will always speak up if I just need to give a gentle nudge, like, hey, let's call it with the conversation, or like, I'm not in the right headspace for this kind of like back and forth, that kind of thing. But you guys are always very, very respectful. You get the vibe. We're all like positive, fun, kind of like flirtatious about vampires vibe here. So, so it's all good.
But people have been losing their partners since before we had words to speak with, and they all survived that pain.
Yes, I was young, Samuel. Like Edmund, I believed my pain was above all other pain. It is difficult to challenge a young vampire's extreme emotions. I could not face my own sorrow, and so I turned my still heart toward anger and vengeance alone. And my vengeance was mighty indeed. I tortured Mikael's killers, of course, but this did not cool my blood for even a moment. I was resolved to taint their entire race. I planted a seed of darkness in the Trojan people that would blossom into a corrupted Roman Empire.
Oh,
Lots of other factors at play there.
Saying you caused the fall of the Roman Empire?
Yes, the Trojans made Mikael bleed, so I ensured that their fields were sown with blood, and all their harvests would taste of death.
Hot. Like, find yourself a badass vampire lover who will literally burn down civilizations to avenge you. That is hot.
Their empire would be tainted from the start, built on suffering, and I aimed to ensure they would suffer.
I guess men really always have been thinking about the Roman Empire, but that's a lot to swallow, Chief. I don't know that one man can bring down an empire.
With enough determination, anything's possible.
Perhaps, but I can draw a direct link from my actions to the tainted history of Rome. Mythology says that it was Athena who brought down Troy, but it was I.
Fuck yes.
You see, it was I who eliminated the opposition to letting the Trojan horse into the city of Troy.
Oh.
I'd like to show you a painting I commissioned of this event. I think you would appreciate.
Well, hot dang, that is one beautiful horse.
I knew you would appreciate the horse. Sam.
I thought you would appreciate the craftsmanship.
Fuck yes.
We men of war love our horses.
You do, you really do.
Hey, I'm a man of peace now, and I love horses even more. What's it say on the side of the horse?
Faladum votum. It means a gift or sacrifice of Pallas.
What's Pallas?
Historians might tell you it is a pseudonym for Athena, and the gift of the Trojan horse was in her name. That was not my meaning. Let me explain. After the fall of Troy, the Trojans were led by a man named Aeneas, though I usually thought of him as Enos.
Real mature, Chief.
Classy.
Come now, Samuel, I was young. Anyway, Aeneas, was the ideal the Trojans wished to live up to. He was extraordinarily handsome, strong, and wise, not a mindless killer like those who killed my Mechariel. But I would reveal this ideal to be false. I knew the mind of Aeneas. He was a Trojan, and like all Trojans, selfish and cruel. I would prove there was nothing redeemable about a Trojan.
Oh, is that labeling Nosferatu thinking or should state? No, it's not should statements. Labeling?
But Chief, before a Trojan's a Trojan, they're a human. Maybe Trojan culture taught some of them to be a certain way, but being Trojan ain't in anyone's blood. Besides, ain't it you who's always reminded me that vampires don't have nationalities?
That's a very good point.
You are of course correct, my friend. Aeneas was born a human, not a Trojan. But I wished to hurt him and all his people. After the siege of Troy, the Trojans were a landless people. They drifted across the Mediterranean to the great city of Carthage in northern Africa. Carthage was run by Queen Dido, and even then, women proved more stable rulers.
Damn right.
The people were happy and content and did not fear the immigrant Trojans. They welcomed the wayward foreigners and invited them to settle in Carthage. They were offered fields to farm in, protection, and a fair place in the city. Indeed, Dido herself fell deeply in love with Aeneas, and he with her. It seemed the Trojans had found their peace. But for me, this was not fair. Why should the Trojans live in peace? Why should they smile when I wept for Mechariel? I believed they should suffer.
There's a lot about the world that ain't fair, Andy. Expecting fairness or that things should be a certain way ain't respecting that reality. I think you were trying to create your own reality, but that's a pretty tall order.
Very perceptive, Samuel. If only I had you around back then to share your wisdom, though perhaps I was not ready to receive it. I could only think of hurting the Trojans. I made certain that Aeneas and his Trojans would no longer be welcome in Carthage. I seduced pure Aeneas.
Oh.
He was not so pure when I was done.
Fuck, okay.
Seduction was always a great skill of mine.
Oh, I bet.
I never would have guessed.
But I made sure that Queen Dido saw us. She adored Aeneas, and I broke that poor woman in my lust for vengeance.
Oh,
I
sorry.
could not face her again, and so set sail with his people away from the land that had so warmly welcomed them. Queen Dido built for herself a mighty pyre, and even from 3 leagues away, Aeneas was forced to see his love burn in the fire of her sorrow. He could not hide his shame from me, nor his tears. To me, they were beautiful.
Holy shit, Chief. I get that hurt people, but dang, you could have turned it down a notch.
No, I don't think he's doing enough. Make it worse. Make him fucking pay.
Oh, that was not even the end of my vengeance.
Good.
But first, I believe it is your turn to settle Wallachia. What are you going to do?
I'm going to destroy mirrors.
Seems like I should get rid of any mirrors. Don't want the mortals to know my secret.
A good choice. Here in Germany, privacy is still a value. Now then, where was I? Ah, yes. The Trojans left Carthage for the northern Mediterranean.
I can make him worse. Same. I can make him so much worse.
In the land we now know as Italy, Aeneas met a noble Greek man named Evander. And to my dismay, they set aside the horrors of the Trojan War and became allies. Evander's people were warring with a local tribe, the Rutulians, led by a bloodthirsty boy named Turnus. In the dark of night, I joined with Turnus. I trained his people in the art of war. I taught Turnus how to fight as a man who fears neither death nor shame. In the ensuing battles, the child of Evander, Pallas, was killed by Turnus, despite Aeneas' protection.
Oh, thank you for the stretch check. Ah.
Aeneas was enraged that his peace with the noble Greek Evander was threatened, and so, day after day, he slaughtered Rutulians until Turnus' people became afraid and began to turn against their leader.
Oh, to be a city that Andromarchos wants to destroy to ruin enemies. Like, oh, to be that city. All I can think of, though, is, because if Andromarchos is originally Greek, like, Ares was just, like, giving him the thumbs up, like, my man! Yes, keep pillaging and sacking and ruining every city. Avenge your lover in gruesome, bloody detail.
Knowing that Turnus would lose, I convinced him to challenge Aeneas to single combat, a final battle. But Turnus would only lose his life. I was determined that Aeneas and the Trojans would lose their souls.
Damn.
I convinced Turnus to wear the belt of Pallas, the child of Evander he had killed, as a trophy. As I predicted, Aeneas easily defeated Turnus, ending the war against the Rutulians. But as Aeneas extended his hand in mercy, he saw the belt of Pallas, and that mercy melted away. He drove his spear into Turnus's chest, and Rome was so founded, not in mercy, but in blood. So you see, Samuel, I was the cause of Rome's bloodlust. Every cruel emperor, every colonial injustice, even the spectacle of the gladiators, they were my doing.
Not necessarily.
Oh, but Chief, that's assuming way more power and blame than you can take credit for. You hurt them Trojans, sure enough, in ways they couldn't erase. But you can't suggest that you created the morality of people who weren't even born yet.
I understand this now, but I do not wish to erase the part in Roman history I had.
That's fair.
After all, this was only the beginning of my evil deeds against the people who once called themselves Trojans.
There's more.
I'm sure you would agree that the things I did to the Trojans were horrific.
They're up there.
Because of the loss of my lover, I aimed to taint the soul of an entire people.
Okay, where does that sit on the morally grey scale? Because, like, I'm familiar with some people doing some really fucked up things in dark romance books, but condemning an entire population of a city for the actions of one person. It's getting up there.
In the last 200 years, I have done significant acts of good.
Good for you.
I have uplifted the poor. I fought the scourge of fascism.
Good.
I have helped vampires find the peace that was so elusive to me. But the good I do now is washed in the blood of millennia. And all that good shall be lost in time, like drops of blood in the vein.
I understood that reference.
But Andy, who asked you to compare those evils to the good you do? Is the Andy of today gonna do more of them evils?
He will certainly aim not to.
So why are you cutting him down? Would it be better if he didn't commit acts of good? Do you need to remind him he's evil every 5 minutes? Or is that disqualifying the positive?
You see why I also need a therapist. Knowledge of cognitive distortions does not mean that I am immune to them.
So you've taught me. But I like the Andy I know, so I'll thank you kindly not to be such an asshole to him.
Yes, exactly.
Crimson does say that she likes Imernak to be an asshole free, so I would not wish to disappoint her. But regard well, I have claimed all of your souls, and am now the Voivode of Wallachia.
Good for you.
Oh shucks, these German board game rules are so complicated.
I knew I was going to lose anyway.
And I have had thousands of years of experience in the art of war, my friend. Next time, press your advantage. You may do a little better. But for now, let us go down and party. I am DJing tonight, and it is time to get down and boogie, as the children of the night will say.
Hell yes.
Oh, are the mortals still saying that?
I don't actually know, but I am ready to let off some steam. Come, my friend, the night awaits.
Hell yes. Join us next time for Spanish Nights, coming soon. Okay, how are we doing for time? Oh yeah, I've only been going for 2 hours. We absolutely can do the rest of these, I think. And then we'll save the DLC for when I come back from my conference next week.
Hello, Samuel.
Hi, Daddy. Sorry.
Good evening, Chief.
Just
You
comes
doing
right
all
out of me.
You sound a little down.
What's on your mind?
In truth, my friend, I have been dreading this evening.
Oh.
I appreciate your taking the time to point out my cognitive distortions, but There are some elements of my past that are especially painful to sort through.
Okay, I'll try and be mature about this.
Hey, we were both bad guys, Andy. But we're not anymore, and that's what matters.
This is true. Cognitive distortions are by nature illogical. But I have you to help me clear them up. You should decide what distortions you'd like to focus on tonight so that we may begin our work.
Okay, you tend to do the Nosferatu thinking. Control fallacy, should statements, and labeling? Come on. Is it? Yes, I think it is labeling.
I think these will suit me fine. Lay it on me, boss.
It is time for me to stop delaying. I suppose you might be able to guess what aspect of my past is giving me such distress.
Is it the making of that asshole who wrote the Malleus Maleficarum? I bet it's about... I'm not going to joke around with answers. I bet it's about Heinrich Kramer.
Thinking about Heinrich Kramer, ain't you?
Yes. My actions 600 years ago bring me no end of shame and regret. I have never truly processed what I did. I have sought to distance myself from Heinrich Kramer, but that is exactly what Edmund Keane tried to do with his past. I am no different from him.
Ooh.
Boss, I think you've already taken the first trip into Distortion Town. You got more self-awareness than Eddie Keane had.
Mm-hmm.
You've been doing the work for centuries. You're doing some Nosferatu thinking, saying you're in the same place as he was. You got a ways to go before you're half as dramatic as Eddie anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps you are correct, my friend. The past is by nature impossible to change, but the same does not apply to my present. Very well. I am not Edmund Keane. It is time to face my past.
Proud of you.
I will summon my emotional strength and accept my part in Heinrich's development as a monster. I believe the 1400s were my worst century. I had professionally killed so many by then, and I was so good at it that murder seemed meaningless. I no longer felt that dark adrenaline that accompanies life-taking. I felt nothing. If I no longer felt anything at the taking of a life, did life matter at all?
Poor Eddie. His feelings are getting in the way of his thinking, I can tell.
If I no longer felt anything at the taking of a life, did life matter at all?
Is it disqualifying the positive?
Poor Eddie.
If I no longer felt anything at the taking of a life, did life matter at all?
Control fallacy?
Boss,
There we
your
go.
feeling or lack of feeling didn't make reality. How you felt about the value of someone else's life didn't amount to a hill of beans. Heck, maybe that was unemotional reasoning.
Or perhaps anti-emotional reasoning. Yes, I projected my emotional emptiness onto the world. In order to combat this feeling of emptiness, I transitioned from a simple vampire into a far more terrible monster. I became what is known in modern times as a troll.
No.
A monster,
Oh, damn it.
a troll.
In order
Forgot.
to combat this feeling of emptiness,
There we
If
go.
I'm
Labeling.
gonna stop you there. No matter what you were a human being too. This talk of monsters and trolls is way too simple. It's labeling. It ain't helpful. If someone's just a troll, there ain't no way of helping them, is there?
you are correct, I am labeling. It is funny how easy it is to call ourselves names, even when we know we should not do the same to others. Very well. I acted in the manner of a troll. I have observed many trolls throughout history. It is a common fate for those who fail to find purpose. Ironically, it is often those who are most privileged who become agents of cruel chaos.
Oh, like that billionaire fellow who runs all them companies but spends all his time being a low-down varmint online. I'm blanking on his name.
There's several of them that come to mind.
I'm afraid I'm unfamiliar with the man.
I think that'd piss him off more than anything.
It makes sense for a mortal billionaire to act in this way. Being so powerful yet feeling your impotence on a global stage is a strange kind of pain. Heinrich Kramer was such a man. I was doing business in the southern regions of the Holy Roman Empire when I met him in a tavern.
And he's lived a fascinating life. He really has. Like, it's so interesting when you think about elder vampires. Like, vampires who have been around for, like, more than, say, 2,000 years. Like, predating Christ level or levels of elder vampires. I remember, like, I haven't watched a lot of the later seasons of True Blood, but I remember, I think it was in season 2 that we got to meet Eric's maker, who was like elder vampire, and his story was so sad and like bittersweet. Like I should rewatch True Blood. I really should rewatch True Blood sometime. God, that show is so horny though. But I think when it comes to writing elder vampires, you can make them really interesting sort of characters. Like Andromarchos is a fascinating character because of the roles that he's had. Like he's essentially been like the butterfly flapping its wings that have caused a hurricane like in another country, and has had many at points of influence in like historical events. But then you can also have vampires who are like Count Orlok and Nosferatu, like speaking dead languages and are like so diseased and aged and just gross, like disgusting in the best possible way. Like there's like I could get into a whole another rant about how malleable vampires are as like a supernatural species to tell different kinds of stories in lots of fun different ways. But I just want to say, like, God, elder vampires are just so cool.
He was drunkenly ranting and raving about the sin of Eve, how women were the cause of all evil, that witches surrounded us.
Incel energy.
He had gathered quite an audience, who delighted in egging him on to sound even more ridiculous.
Never actually seen True Blood. Still need to watch True Blood. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Honestly, True Blood is quite good. I will say though, when I say it's a horny show, I mean it's a horny show. There is a lot of sex scenes in True Blood, so as well as like the normal stuff that vampire stories come with like blood and violence and supernatural stuff and stuff like that, there's just a lot of sex scenes and sexual stuff in True Blood, so just a heads up, don't watch it in front of your parents.
By the end of the night, he was spouting some nonsense about how breasts were chest horns and that all women possessed a sacral hump indicating a vestigial tail.
That's actually in the Malleus Maleficarum, I think.
Wait, what? Was this fella serious?
Never seen a naked woman before in his life.
It was like a stand-up comedy show, but with more vomiting and misquoted Bible verses.
Piece of shit.
But I was very old already. I saw through the humor, through the true hatred beneath. I cannot believe I ever saw value in such a fallen one. I ought to be ashamed.
Well, dang. By Andy's reckoning, neither of us was worth saving.
I cannot believe I ever saw value in such a fallen one. I ought to be ashamed.
Should?
You didn't think I'd miss that should statement just because you said ought instead of should, did you?
That's what I was kind of couldn't quite see through.
There's only one man assigning that should, and that's you, Chief. You're the one shoulding all over yourself.
You speak truly. I have conjured up quite the should storm.
Yep, you're shoulding all over the place, but we gotta wipe that up and see things as they are.
The metaphor is getting a little too visceral now. I will continue.
Good plan.
Heinrich was already an influential friar in the Dominican order, with ties going all the way up to the Vatican. But his hatred was childish and personal. His persecution of witches failed because he seemed entirely petty. I functioned as his mentor and press relations manager.
Wait, so you were a warrior, an assassin, and a PR guy?
He's had so many professions over the years.
Is it so ridiculous? Assassinations are often public relations moves. Dictators have their critics killed for professional reasons, not just personal ones.
Was that a siren or am I hearing things? Yeah, there was a car alarm or something like that that went off outside my apartment, but don't worry about it.
Anyway,
Because I don't have a car.
manifest those into something more grounded. We made a scholarly appeal to Pope Innocent VIII to condemn witches, and he was only too glad to issue a papal bull.
Oh, what's a papal bull?
It's a memo issued by the Pope to alert Christians to new positions or doctrines of the Church. In this papal bull of 1484, the Pope condemned those who consorted with devils, incubi, and succubi, and those who cast spells.
Huh, it does sound like a bunch of bull.
You are not the first to think so. This papal bull was largely ignored. Pope Innocent VIII was not a well-regarded pope. At this time in his life, he was a frail old man, mostly surviving on the breast milk of teenage girls.
Yep.
He was far from a spiritual authority.
Oh, yuck. I'm starting to see where the Puritans came from.
The late 1400s often mirror our current times, I find. Intensely concentrated power does terrible things to men, especially when they feel threatened. Heinrich was intensely disappointed when this papal bull did not result in the widespread persecution of women. I encouraged him to intensify his efforts. Had it not been for my encouragement, perhaps the inquisitions of the time would never have happened.
Was that fully in your control,
I
though?
think you're laying too much of the blame on yourself, Chief. Yeah, you played your part in Heinrich's evil doing, but he did too.
How is the public transportation in the UK? I've heard it's better than the US and I'm so jealous. I only found out recently that the London transport isn't too expensive. The buses are capped at a certain amount of money. Yes, so as with many big cities, London is, sorry, I'll have to put a pin in this therapy session. 1 second, I need to explain London public transport. So as with many big cities, London public transport is priced and classified by zones. So like central London is, I think, zone 1, and then you've got like, it's like, imagine like the rings of a tree. Then you've got the main central hub of like central London, and then an outer zone, which is zone 2, and then zone 3, and then I think it's zone 4, and then further outside that is only connected by like local buses and national train systems. But I believe it is capped at a certain amount of money for, like, if you jump between a certain number of buses in a certain amount of time or something like that. So say if you need to get quickly around the city, so you don't pay for how many buses you need to take. It's like the amount of distance you need to ride, and I think that's how it works. I know it is capped at a certain amount and for certain times of day as well. So it's actually quite reasonable, I will say.
Maybe if you hadn't encouraged him, someone else would have. Or maybe he didn't even need any help. You can't know.
Central London trains are relatively cheap. As you get to like southeast, transport gets more expensive. It's better only in that it actually has public transportation. That's it's been deteriorating. Better only in that. I will say though, London transport, there's always strikes going on, and there's always lines that are closed for updates and stuff like that, or refurbishments. But even though it does take a while, they do get shit done. Like, they've had huge expansions to a number of the stations here in London. They added the Elizabeth line and everything like that. That opened a couple of years ago, and that's been really good, really useful for getting around central London. So it's definitely not perfect, but it's really fucking good.
It is hard to imagine that he would achieve his goals without me, but perhaps you are right. I cannot know.
Exactly.
It's very easy to assign myself all of the blame because I can control my own actions.
Well, that's right.
God, I look like
and
a
you
ghost.
can't control Heinrich's actions.
Be better.
See how the student becomes the master?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you are correct. I could not control Heinrich, but I did help him. It was at this time that I offered Heinrich the chance to dedicate his immortal soul to his dark work by taking it from him. The supreme, delicious irony of welcoming a hateful man of the church into eternal darkness was too tempting for me. Of course he took my offer. He was all too eager to devote eternity to his hateful work. And just because I thought it would be funny, I told him we needed to have homosexual sex in order for the dark ritual to work.
Okay, that's kind of great.
He was so eager to abandon his beliefs to indulge his hatred.
Oh, jeez, Chief. You really ain't too picky about who you're getting intimate with.
You are such a sweet blood, Samuel. Sex need not always be about intimacy. In this case, it was the cruel irony that gave me satisfaction. Heinrich took to unlife well. He dedicated himself wholeheartedly to his great book, the Malleus Maleficarum.
I hate that book.
Oh, you mentioned that before. Well, what was in this book?
Here, take a look. I have an old copy.
Oh, goody.
This is a manual of sorts on how to identify, persecute, and kill witches. It was a work of dark fantasy garbage, unworthy of any respect.
I get that it's a historical relic, but my god, did it get a lot of people killed.
Jeez, Andy. I feel like you ought to burn this thing. Smells like brimstone and bad news.
No, Samuel. If the past does not teach us, we will be doomed to repeat it. I kept it to remind me of just how far I had once fallen. I gave him the brilliant idea of attaching Pope Innocent's papal bull to this work in order to give it legitimacy. We also fabricated an endorsement from the University of Cologne. Fact-checking was so slow back then that it would take decades to challenge the legitimacy of such an endorsement.
Sounds like an election debate.
You see, my friend, mortals are eager to follow instructions. Church authorities were all too willing to enforce these rules. And so, Heinrich became a superstar influencer. His works spread across Europe, and witchcraft, once a superstitious joke, became a very real problem to the public. This climate of persecution spread throughout the Holy Roman Empire, and would later fuel witch hunts even in your own country. But even this systemic persecution was not enough to sustain me. Acceptance of radical ideas has a way of normalizing the radical, and I soon became bored of Heinrich.
So did you just ditch him?
Wait, you helped make a witch hunting manual popular throughout Europe, and then you got bored.
A troll requires fuel to feel they matter. If a troll ceases to be radical to others, they are beings without purpose. I told Heinrich as much when I dumped him. I said that he bored me. He was a mere tool to be used.
And then he took that really well.
Oh, dang, Chief. You didn't think much of Heinrich after all, did you?
Many spoke of mortals as insects. I felt much the same way. When you are more than 1,000 years old, it is easy to fall into such thought patterns. Legitimizing witchcraft was a significant accomplishment, to be sure, but its fulfillment left me feeling empty. When the clerical authorities began persecuting witches on their own, I felt rather left out. I wanted their persecution to happen because of me.
Control fallacy?
But Andy, the actions of others weren't just because of you. They got that dirty old manual you held right, but it was up to them to decide to listen to it.
You speak truly, my friend. I wish you had been around back then to speak with me. The existential angst of a very old vampire is hard to communicate. I just wanted to feel that I mattered somehow.
You kind of pinned your cart to the wrong horse.
By 1492, I had to go somewhere where I feel more effective as an agent of chaos. And there was no better place to go than Spain, specifically Granada.
Wait, what did you get up to in Granada? Because I've been to Granada, and it's a gorgeous, gorgeous city. What did you do in Granada?
Well,
Andy? What did you do in Granada?
Spain in 1492 was a mess. For more than 260 years, Granada had been a center of learning. The Muslim Nasrid dynasty ruled, but Jews and Christians were allowed to practice their religion and even rose to high positions in society.
It's a beautiful city.
But when Ferdinand and Isabel of Castile arrived with the Spanish Inquisition, it was incompatible with the harmony that defined Granada. I smelled blood, for lack of a more apt phrase.
What did you do?
My instincts were correct. I arrived in Granada in April. Though the stones were still stained red, its conquerors were hungrier for blood than I was. Ferdinand and Isabella had just sanctioned Christopher Columbus's trip westward in search of treasures to fund their conquests.
Motherfucker.
Hey, I know this one. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
I have heard this poem as well, but it did something quite terrible. Do you know what it is?
A lot of people died. Columbus didn't discover America because America already existed and it was heavily populated.
Columbus didn't actually discover America. Folks were already living there.
Yes, I would say that Ferdinand and Isabella wrote this poem themselves, but unfortunately, they were too learned to write something so insipid.
You've been to the Caribbean, so traveled. I've never been to the Caribbean. I haven't been to any really tropical islands. I've never been to the Caribbean, but Granada is the city that Andy's talking about in Spain. And as he said, there was a lot of overlap between Muslims, Jews, and Christians. And so I've been to, I think it was a palace that was there. And it was so interesting being in a city in Spain, but having so much architecture was notably Arabic. And so it was just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Granada is such a gorgeous city.
The journey of Columbus was not a noble journey, but a savvy and cruel move by Ferdinand and Isabella to solidify their tenuous position as rulers of a unified Catholic Spain. If I could find my way into their court, I could commit such devilry. It would not be easy for a dark-skinned demon like me to worm myself into their graces, but I found a way.
It's like a cultural mosaic. Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, let me guess. You seduced Ferdinand. Or Isabella.
Or both.
Samuel, I am hurt. You think I just fucked my way through history, don't you?
You kind of have, though?
Oh, shucks, Chief. I didn't mean nothing by it. I just saw a running theme and thought...
Well, you were right. I seduced Isabella of Castile's chief advisor.
Yep, I suspected as much.
They called her La Latina. What a woman. Here, I have a painting of her. Her name
Pretty.
was Beatriz Galindo. She was one of the most learned mortals I have ever met, if not the most. This painting does not capture her essence well, but she was also devilishly attractive. There is nothing sexier than an inquiring mind. And Beatriz, she was one of the sexiest women I have ever known.
Damn right.
You sound a little smitten there, Chief. Better not let Crimson hear.
She knows about Beatriz. Not everything, of course. She doesn't need to hear the most intimate details. But, seeing as you are acting in the capacity of my therapist, I can tell you, yes?
As much as you feel comfortable with.
She used to do this one thing with her finger.
God.
You know, I ain't a Puritan. I just think all this stuff should maybe be done behind closed doors.
I'm sorry, my dear. I don't wish to go too far, but I will still unburden myself. I believe I did Beatriz great harm. She was newly married when I met her in Granada.
Oh. No, Andy, not good.
Her husband was a man named Francisco Ramirez de Madrid. As his name implies, he was of Madrid, meaning that his lovely wife was often left alone in Granada.
And that's when you came in.
It took me an entire month to get her into bed. Perhaps the longest courtship of my entire on life.
A month? A month for you is long to get someone to bed? God damn, I will say, I am kind of curious and terrified of what it would be like if you were the very lucky recipient of Andromarchos' attentions, like amorous attentions. Like, is it full sweep you off your feet, effortless seduction? Because
You don't take your time much, do you?
even though I'm on the asexual spectrum, it would take me a while to feel comfortable, but god damn is he attractive.
I don't usually have to try, but Beatriz was a woman of principle. She was not ready to cheat on her husband or her holy vows. She did not share her body with me immediately, but in her mind, the deed had been done 1,000 times already from the first day we met.
Fair.
I knew her by reputation before I met her, and I knew the way into her underclothes. It was through Latin.
Not surprising.
Other than myself, she was perhaps the global authority on Latin, largely an unspoken language at the time. I quoted Virgil to her, the story of my old nemesis, Aenos.
You mean Aeneas, right?
What did I say?
You definitely said anus.
Oh, my mistake. Anyway, I knew I would be her match in Latin, so I told her, Nunc scio quid sit amor. Now I know what love is. She admonished me for my forwardness, but did so with a smile that she could not hide from me. With her husband in Madrid, I spent the warm Spanish evenings with her, drinking her blood and sharing thoughts of terrifying intimacy.
Well, meaning you got up to a lot of kinky stuff.
Yes.
Oh, the kinkiest. We probed each other so deeply. Do you know what we did?
Whatever you feel comfortable talking about.
Yes.
We discussed Aristotle.
Oh, be still my heart.
Oh, okay, maybe I can't guess.
You cannot know true intimacy until you have delved deeply into Aristotelian logic, biology, and virtues with another.
Oh, talk Greek philosophy to me, please.
But Samuel, I used her. Even with the bond we formed, a bond that few couples on this earth could ever achieve, I used her. Through her influence, I was able to embed myself into the Spanish court. I introduced Ferdinand and Isabella to the Malleus Maleficarum. They adored it, of course. They loved blood as much as I did.
So you were feeding poison to a couple of already rabid dogs.
Yes, it inspired their brutal actions against the conquered Muslims and Jews, which delighted me in this foolish troll era of mine. After evenings discussing mystic ancient virtues with Beatriz, this was a great betrayal. I deserved to suffer for helping Heinrich, and I deserved to suffer for using Beatriz. I think she was trying to save me through our conversation, Samuel. I might have charmed her with my voice and my words, but she knew who I was. Have you read much about Aristotelian ethics?
I need to scrub up myself.
We didn't discuss a lot of Aristotle out on the range.
I think he will not be so alien to you. He described a concept known as the virtuous mean. It is not so different from the middle path we speak of so often. Between purposelessness and overambition, there is fair ambition. Between shyness and shamelessness, there is modesty.
Reminds me a lot of Isabella D'Este and Dr. Drain.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Cannot sustain being individuals of pure vice or pure virtue. There is no peace in such ambition. But I could not hear her wisdom. I was 2,500 years old. Who was immortal to talk to me about ethics and virtue? It is simply difficult to reconcile my disappointment with myself, Samuel. That I helped the evil and used the virtuous. Once I had helped to fuel the bloody ambitions of Ferdinand and Isabella, I abandoned Beatrice. It is a dark thing indeed to live to be a troll. There is no fulfillment in such a life, only pain.
Correct.
A troll such as I was is a societal toxin. We break down the social contract and reduce humanity to a bestial state.
I think you're the one doing the reducing there, Andy. A troll might be a troll, but they're human too. I don't think anyone ever gets brought into this world thinking, gee, I just want to make people miserable. Well, that ain't you, right?
I do not remember being a baby, but no, that was not my concern. It is true. I had the capacity to be more than a troll. I simply did not recognize that fact. Alas, I believe I was a far more successful troll than I have been a sincere human being. I used Heinrich and Beatrice more effectively than I have ever helped kindly vampires.
Well, there he goes again, trying to diminish his good deeds.
Alas,
There we go.
I believe I was a far more successful troll than I have been a sincere human being.
Andy, you're disqualifying the positive again. Whatever troll you were in the past, comparing him to the Andy of today is as useful as milking a bull. Well, actually, it might make the bull happy, but we ain't gonna talk about that. Point is, if we're talking about the good you do now, what do your troll days have to do with anything? You're being a real Count Gloomula if you're taking something good and ruining it for no reason.
Correct.
Lumula, I know of no such man.
I made him up, but he's just who you're being when you're knocking yourself down.
Exactly. Stop doing that.
You are correct, Samuel. May that Andromarchos remain buried. I will not forget him, but not so that I might torture myself, but to remember how far I have come. I must say, I am feeling much less burdened having spoken with you, my friend.
Yay.
I feel as though I am in bad form already, with the wind beneath my wings.
Glad to hear it.
I'm glad to hear that, Andy. I don't want you weighed down.
Would you like to go out for a night fly with me, my friend?
Yes.
That sounds like a mighty fine idea.
Then let us go. The moon is high and the night awaits.
Hell yes. Join Sam and Andy next time for Fathoms Below. Oh, look at that. This game is so cool. Okay. So we have one more, and then we'll save couples therapy for when I return to Vampire Therapist next time. So, one more session with Andy. And then I'll call it a night, I promise.
Hey, Andy, you ready for our therapy session, partner? Hey there,
Oh.
you late, Andy. Panoptabella, what are you doing here?
I was looking for the bathroom.
You got a little bit lost then.
Well, this ain't the bathroom.
I can see that. I'll go then.
Hey, Chief, what's going on?
Panoptabella and I were simply having an exchange.
Oh.
In exchange of what?
Samuel, my dear, you do not need to know everything. It is not my business to share.
Fair.
We are here for my therapy session, are we not?
Yeah, that's right. How are you doing, boss?
In truth, I feel much improved, my friend. I believe unburdening myself to you has been most helpful.
Sorry, Small, my back's getting a bit stiff.
My lightening of spirit comes with its own distortions, however. Which would you like to focus on tonight?
It's a bit better. Nosferatu thinking. Control fallacy is a big thing with you. Should statements? And labeling. I think that's fair.
I think I've got what I need to handle an ancient vampire. Go on, Chief. What's been on your mind?
Oh, thanks for the stretch check.
The last century has been isolating. Other Elder vampires
thank you.
put themselves above self-improvement, so we have little to speak of.
Well, I guess that ain't no surprise. New ways of thinking don't usually come out of retirement communities.
Indeed, we elderly often prefer to sing praises to old glories, but there is no glory in my past, only death.
Oh, thank you for the hydrate check.
I want to stop you there, Chief. There is no glory in my past, only death. You're 3,000 years old. Can you really say you got nothing to be proud of in that time?
I am not proud to be an effective killer, my friend.
I just have trouble believing all you did was kill and sleep for 3,000 years.
That is fair. I've met many fascinating people and seen many forgotten wonders.
See, there you go. Don't go tossing out the blood with the blood bag.
You are correct. Against my own wisdom, I hope to erase the parts of my unlife that bring me shame.
Well, it's like you told me. Everyone's got cognitive distortions, and we ain't ever gonna get over them.
Too true. I must accept the evil so that I can appreciate the good.
I'm going to be visiting family and traveling most of this month, so I may not be able to watch your streams as regularly, which is a bit disappointing since it's become a pleasant part of my routine. Nice to see my family, though. Completely understandable, and thank you for the heads up. Honestly, it's all good. I'm fully aware that everyone has lives outside of watching my streams and everything like that, but it's all good. We will be here for when you return.
I confess I often wish to give myself a pass, because in hindsight my evil was so pointless. Have you ever heard the phrase, the banality of evil?
Yes.
Oh, no, but I can guess what it means.
Evil is boring.
It just means evil is boring. It's like you said, there ain't no glory in being a bastard. It's just tired and petty.
It is true that people often commit acts of evil in order to be seen and validated, and yes, it is petty. But it does not speak to the banality of evil. Historian Hannah Arendt coined this phrase to describe the actions of some Nazi leaders. In Western tradition, when we think of evil, we imagine powerful creatures of darkness intent on hurting others. Even in this understanding, evil has no ideology. It is, as you say, dumb. And when we perceive evil as dumb, it is tempting to simply dismiss it. If I live in a life that is no longer evil, it does not feel right to be judged by the centuries I spent in dumbness. Indeed, it was the realization of the banality of evil that made me question it.
Well, how's that?
Well, you and I know what effective killers we are. There is no mortal that would dare stand against us. We are physically superhuman. But are we truly greater beings than mortals?
You're definitely hotter, so there's
How many
that.
people do you think I have killed, Samuel?
I'm going to estimate at least in the 6 figures.
Well, you being 3,000 years old and all, I bet you've killed.
One second. I need to math. Going off the assumption that he has to drink a full person's equivalent of blood each year. So 365 times 3,000. That's over 1 million.
You must have killed a few million mortals. That's a hell of a thought.
You know as well as I do how normalized killing can be for our kind. Yes, I have killed millions. The truth is, I have no idea how many people I have killed. I was certain, however, that I was the dominant force of death in the world. But in the 20th century, humanity showed me that I was far from superhuman. If I thought I was detached from the value of life, World War I showed me I was not special in this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I kind of missed both of the world wars. I was busy walking at that time.
They were terrible, Samuel. Mass death events have happened before. The Napoleonic Wars, the Taiping Rebellion, and even older wars killed millions. But the industrialization of war turned corpses into mere numbers. Humanity could kill its enemies without ever seeing their faces. I was there on the Western Front. I saw mortars and mustard gas used indiscriminately, men ripped to unidentifiable shreds. Day after day, month after month, the bodies filled mass graves, each death contributing to no ultimate goal. Back then, I was a creature who saw death as glorious, I thought that mortals were food, owed to me because I was greater than they. This casual mass murder showed me that I was not above my humanity. Murder was humanity. I'm afraid, Samuel, that I quite lost my appetite for blood. I did not think such a thing was possible for a vampire.
I imagine something as horrific as that would be like a huge turning point for someone who has grown up and is so acclimatized to violence. Just seeing mass death being reduced to statistics, like,
Dang.
yeah, you'd lose your appetite over that.
You could say that. I was disgusted with myself, with humanity, certainly with my own humanity. One night, standing on a North Sea beach, utterly lost, I walked into the sea. Water filled my lungs, but I did not die. I kept walking into the cold gloom to whatever fate would befall me.
That is one cool thing about vampires, is that depending on the vampire lore of the fictional story of choice, vampires usually don't need to breathe, so they can just be underwater. Of course, like, not super deep enough that the pressure would, like, collapse their bodies, but vampires can just swim underwater endlessly. And not gonna lie, that is really fucking cool.
What were you thinking in that moment?
I was not without a purpose. All I had was walking. That was all that mattered.
That actually does make a lot of sense, I reckon. I did much the same thing.
I thought you would understand. Yes, I did not walk for a purpose. Perhaps I was walking to find a purpose.
So, what happened?
The light of moon and sun faded away. I saw things in the darkness. Flashes of nightmares, giant eyes peering at me in the gloom. I felt the heat of volcanic plumes. Saw explosions of strange life in the corpses of dead whales.
Damn, he walked far then.
Predators like myself abound in the deep places of the world. These ghosts in the darkness consumed one another, horrors feeding upon horrors. As I walked further still, I came upon the wreckage of a great ship, littered with material reminders of the mortals who once walked its decks. I will never forget the experience of seeing this symbol of humanity's power over nature decaying in the abyss.
If you're gonna say it was the Titanic.
I had to sketch the
Of
great
course
abyss.
it was.
It was named the Titanic.
Of course it was the Titanic. I could make a really bad joke about the Ocean Gate explosion, but I'm not, because I'm better than that.
The Titanic. I remember that story. John Muir would say it was a symbol of man's hubris. He could be a grumpy old cuss sometimes.
I saw it more as a symbol of nature's ignorance of humanity's hubris. The creatures of the cold deep paid it no mind, ignorant of the death all around them, for there were no bodies to speak of.
I also thought deep sea vampires would be an interesting thing to explore. Absolutely, really, really cool concept you can explore with that. I remember in the Discord we talked about it years back. I think I remember as well. Hell yes. Yeah, I haven't been swimming in quite some time myself.
I think it was then that I finally understood. Death, as a state of nature, has no meaning. Death only has whatever meaning we give it, and my death had none.
You know, I'm pretty sure Eddie Keene said exactly the same thing.
I do not deny it. Edmund was in some ways correct. If we do not give our own lives meaning, do they have meaning?
That's still Nosferatu thinking and disqualifying the positive. You ain't the only one that gets to define the meaning of life and death. Death doesn't erase the memory of a person, just the body.
I suppose one could say their hearts will go on.
I hope
God
you ain't
damn
gonna
it.
sing
Don't worry, my friend. I think we all heard that song a little too much.
Just a little bit.
But you are right. I was so sure I understood death, but I was only beginning to understand mortality.
I get it. There's a reason we're in the same business, I reckon.
Your reckoning is well perceived, and I am grateful that I had my own reckoning. As I watched the creatures of the deep swimming among the wreckage of the great ship, I realized how small my life truly was. I had wondered for many centuries what it would be like to venture into space. Into the great ocean, that need was satisfied. For once, I felt small, powerless. a small spark of life in the void. All my unlife was a primal scream. I am here, I matter. But I finally understood that I could never be heard.
I think I get what you're saying, Andy. The deep woods gave me the same experience of feeling small and insignificant. But we can't help but matter, and it's a control fallacy to say we don't. Maybe we don't get heard in the same way we want to be heard, but that we can't control.
Can't swim at all this summer due to my surgeries. That's completely fair. I hope you heal up soon, Sam.
But the sea knew you were there, just like the woods knew I was there.
I must admit, Samuel, I am a bit envious of your wisdom at such a young age.
Oh, shucks, I ain't wise. I'm just too much of a fool to know I shouldn't assume too much.
Come now, Samuel, this is my session. You can disqualify the positive later.
Fair enough.
I will say it was a terrifying experience, but one that I am unendingly grateful for. And it was more achievable than going to space.
Good plan.
Vampires in space. I guess there's no real reason why we shouldn't go out there. We got time for long travel. Maybe we should take a trip to Mars sometime.
I'm not sure about if the sun will be up for that.
Martian vampires? It's a little silly, Samuel.
Just a little bit.
Take me to your bleeder.
Oh, Samuel,
God damn
that was
it.
truly terrible.
It was awful, but I loved it.
And I adore you for it. Perhaps the day will come when we do visit Mars. But I am content to stay here. There is much to discover about our existence on Earth. After this dark journey, I walked back across the Atlantic, sustained with fish blood and a new will to understand myself. My timing could not have been better, because a new form of science was just coming into prominence. Psychology, the study of the self.
Mr. Sigmund Freud.
Well, when was this?
Around 1920. I was not the only human being to question humanity's choices after the Great War. Indeed, if humanity did not question itself after such horrors, this would be a condemned world.
You've been around a long time, right? You've seen oppression and violence like I couldn't imagine. But somehow, every time folks get knocked down, they dust themselves off again.
One of the great things about being human.
I think you're doing a little catastrophizing, boss. Humanity ain't gonna die out so easily.
Perhaps not. I believe the mortals are even more stubborn than we are. The fear of death makes them cling to life.
It's too bad everyone can't just become vampires. Solve a lot of problems.
I think we have enough work on our hands already, my friend.
Indeed.
Where was I? Oh, yes. It was my questioning of the self that brought me to this place. Psychology was born right here in Leipzig.
No shit.
None at all, my friend. A man named Wilhelm Wundt lived just on the street. He developed a method where we describe our own thoughts and sensations.
Well, that sounds mighty familiar.
Yes, the hints of cognitive distortions were present already. I read his works voraciously.
I should have a look at his work sometime.
I was obsessed with the study of the self. I became interested in my own feelings. Why did I rage for so long? What did it feel like physically? And I realized that my prevailing feeling was always fear. Like Edmund, I was a coward. Oh dear, the similarities are piling up.
Well, let's take a step back there, Chief.
No labeling.
I've been afraid too. Dr. Drain was afraid. Isabella D'Este was afraid. Medi was afraid. And we know about Eddie. I reckon every mortal's been afraid too. That don't make us cowards, and it don't mean we're Eddie Keen neither. It just makes us human.
Yes, I believe I know this in my dead heart as well. Fear is a part of nature, and we are only slightly unnatural. Why was I not interested in myself for nearly 3,000 years? I should have shed my ignorance long before.
Should statement.
I think you know as well as I do that there was a should statement.
I know. I should have recognized my own should.
You should have recognized your own should. That's a load of should in one bag.
Damn right.
Your observation is certainly valid. I should listen to you more often.
Andy, now you're just poking fun at us.
Oh, come on, Chief. You don't need to listen to me. Listen to yourself.
I'm teasing you, Samuel.
You really are a dusty old joker, Andy.
And you're so adorable, both of you.
No, I do appreciate your pointing out my should statement. I did find my way to the self. I was simply not ready to face myself for a few millennia.
Fair.
But I did develop an obsession with knowing myself, and it took me to some very awkward places.
All right, Chief, I'm ready. I ain't afraid of sex, so you can talk to me.
I'm not sure if he means it like that
I
exactly.
suppose it was about sex.
Oh, it was. Okay.
Here we go.
This is when I began my studies with Sigmund Freud.
Oh boy.
He shared this obsession with understanding the self.
Like Freud had some really quite interesting breakthroughs, but a lot of it. But there's some other things that's like. We're gonna unpack a lot of this in the following
Analyzed
centuries.
each other, which helped us to analyze ourselves.
Okay, so you got down and dirty with Freud as well. God
We
damn.
hid nothing. We knew that we would understand the truth if we laid it bare. The bearing of truth in this case was difficult. I horrified him, I believe. Take a look at this picture. What is your impression of this woman?
Well dressed, somewhat stoic. A little bit stern.
Well, she looks kind of stern, I guess.
She was certainly a very strong woman by all accounts. Mighty like Isabella d'Este. This woman was most beloved by Sigmund. She was his mother. If you would show me this very picture and say, Andromarchos, if she were your mother, you would want to fuck her too.
Damn, okay, we
I
went
use this
there.
phrase often for obvious reasons, but what in the Sam hell?
Sophia, perfect timing. Thank you so much for the 95 bits. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support.
He could not imagine why anyone else would feel differently. Of course, I overshared with him as well. I do not think my recounting of the convent of San Sisto orgy of 1417 helped us to gain a greater sense of self-awareness.
Damn.
Though I always found it humorously ironic the way the nuns still cried out to God.
No, was that ironic or just extra delicious?
Boy, you really like a little novelty in the bedroom, don't you?
It's fun.
Oh, Samuel, you are such a millennial.
I'm way too old to be a millennial, Andy.
I mean to say that you were born in the last millennium. You will understand when you are over 1,000 years old.
You know, you're not my daddy.
No, I am not, though perhaps I joke like one.
And it's adorable.
But Sigmund had made a grave mistake in our explorations of the self, and in doing so, cast doubt on the truly groundbreaking work we did. He eventually died, as mortals do, but my lust for understanding the self was not quenched. I became interested in the philosophy of those of my lifetime, and the philosophy of the modern era. It was like charting a map through humanity. It was invigorating. I felt alive. This feeling showed me that I was on the right path. The thinkers whose works I read all had the same obsession I did. They wanted to unlock the formula of humanity. That was my true aim as well. I thought that my immortality made me the ideal student of the self. I had time to question and explore. But I did not account for the fact that the act of questioning made me grow and change myself. I am no longer the man I was yesterday, and tomorrow I shall be someone new. I have become aware of ways in which I could be more mindful, more kind, more fashionable even.
You already dress amazingly well. Change nothing.
I chase the truth, Samuel, and I chase the good. It is a shame that I can only chase them, never catch them.
You ain't never gonna be perfect, Chief. Neither am I. You're right. The more aware we are, the more them goalposts are gonna keep moving. We can always be better. But I think you're disqualifying the positive of being good enough. You're trying, Andy, every day. I think that's the battle won right there. You ain't gonna slip now. 4,000-year-old Andy is gonna be a force of good to be reckoned with.
Yes.
I know. It
Absolutely.
reminds me of a pearl of wisdom Marcus Aurelius gave me that I could not yet understand. He said, waste no time in arguing what a good person should be. Be one.
Good line. Really good
I
line.
take these words to heart now, but it is hard to not have deep regrets.
I think you know how to address them regrets there, Andy.
Are you going to do the horse thing? I would prefer you didn't.
No, I ain't gonna do the horse thing.
I am relieved, but yes, you know what I need, and I gratefully accept it.
Andy, let's accept all the dark deeds you done. Let's accept that it took you a long time to change. Ain't no getting around that. It's time to show a little compassion. You're doing your best. You're a better person for all the work you done. You, my friend, are good enough.
Damn right.
Good enough. I suppose I am.
Would you like a hug there, boss?
I
Yes!
would love a hug, my friend.
Oh! This is beautiful. This was so nice that we got to see like a little peek behind the curtain, quite literally, behind the history of Andromarchos, and find out all the parts he played in history and all his experiences. That was so good. That was really, really, really good. Honestly, this timing worked out really quite beautifully with us wrapping things up with all our previous clients, having a very stressful moment with Andy, and then unpicking aspects of his past. That was so good. So good. Honestly, Vampire Therapist, such a great game by a wonderful team that has so much heart. But we're going to wrap things up for tonight, because then when we return to this game, we're going to have a little look at couples therapy, which I'm quite intrigued about. But thank you so much for joining me tonight, my lovelies. I hope you all had a wonderful time. Let me just get my webcam back into position. There we go. Alrighty, so thank you so much for joining me tonight, my lovelies. I hope you all had a wonderful time. Thank you so much for all of the resubs and the bits as well. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support. And if you've been lurking in the shadows and you like what you've seen so far, then please consider following. We would love to have you back at the Blue Rose Respite. You are welcome anytime. Be sure to check out my other socials that are popping up in the chat right now, including my 2 YouTube channels, one for my ASMR tales and the other for my Twitch VODs, and my Blue Sky, my Insta, and my TikTok. I have an ongoing 24/7 broadcast over on my main YouTube channel, which is a collection of ASMR tales and creepypasta narrations, so be sure to check that out and give it some love. Let's see who's currently live. Hang on 1 second. Just want to have a quick check of something. Okay, cool. There's just someone live that I haven't rated in a while, so I just had to refresh myself. Like, what was that username exactly? So let's go say hi to Hayden, because they're a very talented, very cool voice actor. Yes, there we go. Alrighty, so thank you so much for joining me tonight, my lovelies. I will see you on Friday for more Cage of Roses, the beautiful sapphic vampire romance visual novel. But thank you so much for joining me tonight, my lovelies. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the week. And remember, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and as always, stay wicked and wonderful. Good night, my lovelies.